Yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. I got DJ Never.
Yo, what up?
I got DJ D Miles.
What's good, what's good?
We got Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
And yo, we got a special guest. This is our LA fam.
Yep.
A really dope DJ, producer. I'd say actually one of the dopest scratching DJs I've ever heard in the nightclub.
Yeah.
And
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, one of the best. And he's become like a social media guru now with his new Urban Sicko. I got my man Craig Anthony in the building. What's good, man?
What's good, man? Shout out to that 1942 y'all gonna try to throw on me.
Whatever you want.
Whenever you're ready.
Satanic. You guys are the worst.
It's going to get closer through the
It's like creeping on me, man.
You on the Castle Amigos now, though, right?
I mean, you know, the homies in Vegas. I just moved to Vegas, so guys out here been putting me on that, man.
What are you doing out here, man?
You know, I
Because you LA to the death.
You're the mayor.
To the death. To the death.
To the death.
All over my body. You know what I'm saying? Like
Lakers,
Dodgers.
There's only
Raiders.
one other person on social media talking more shit about the Dodgers, and it's him.
Yeah.
But after me, I'm just like, man.
Are you a Dodgers fan?
Big Dodger fan.
Yeah.
Bro.
So, you know, I grew up in Los Angeles, man, all over the basin. I was pretty much raised in Pasadena, which is about 10 minutes from downtown. And, you know, I guess I got all of that real LA culture from, you know, the family, growing up in the city, running the streets. You know, when gangbanging was big, you know, I was young. You know, my family did a lot of gangbanging, so I was around that culture. And then the sports shit came from my father. You know, my dad was a gnarly Dodgers, Raiders, Lakers, and since I was a kid, he drugged me into the games. You know, like 5 years old, I was in there, you know, watching Magic and Bird. So a lot of that shit is tradition and family. You know how that works. It's pretty much, you know, everybody sticks to their culture, and no matter what race or religion.
Nah, definitely.
You know, you ride with your culture. And then LA has its own culture, which is there's two different cultures which people don't understand. From real LA natives, there's Hollywood and there's LA. Hollywood ain't LA. Hollywood is a city where a lot of transplants come into the city and try to become a part of the city. I can say that as a LA native. Now that I'm a transplant in Vegas, you know, it's kind of funny because I've always gone hard on transplants. Yeah. But a lot of those transplants don't bring anything to the city. You know, like I think if you're a transplant, like, you know, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to a city and try to become a part of that city, but, you know, if you bring something to the city, it betters the city. If you come and just suck from the city, then it's like, it's not as cool. So the thing about Hollywood is really weird, bro, because it's two different places. The culture in Hollywood ain't the culture in LA. Like, it's not South Central. It's not Compton. It's not all those places. It's not Dina. You know what I mean? Like, it's IG people and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You already know what it is. So it's just not me, dude. So that's one of the reasons I came out to Vegas is because I just feel like I outgrew Los Angeles in those types of aspects. Also, I felt like I wasn't fucking with the prices, bro. Like
That's nuts, bro.
Yeah. Dude, like,
as fuck.
I'm not trying to throw money around, but my place was $4,500 a month. Right, it was a 3-bedroom apartment. All right, I came out here and got a 5-bedroom house for half of that in a gated community.
Yeah. And you own the motherfucker,
right? So
probably.
that's what I'm saying.
And no taxes.
No taxes.
And then what I like
no
about
state tax,
right? And what I love about Vegas, and even just being here, I've been here 5 minutes. The people in Vegas, the people that I know in all the casinos, from the DJs to the workers, it's more like a family vibe out here. Everybody sticks together. Everybody's at everybody's events. Everybody's at everybody's company party. Everybody fucks with each other heavy. And that to me is something I never experienced in Los Angeles. Like,
really?
I'm not like out here, bro. Like,
I was telling you that yesterday, Kirk, that people don't support each other in LA at all.
Nah.
Because everybody wants to be the fucking
But it's like
main
a fake
focus.
support, though.
I couldn't even get a ride at the airport in LA. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be
Really?
like, people trying to go to the airport?
People
Motherfucker,
won't
like,
pick
fuck
you up, dog. Like,
No,
people
you
won't
can't get
pick
no,
you-
not even from your family. It's just a different feeling. Like, if motherfuckers don't show up in LA, nobody don't trip because they expect you not to show up.
Yep.
But out here, they expect you to show up.
Yeah.
Yo, man, we gonna be at Crazy Horse. Shout out to my guy Brandon Roque. Like, he always got me in there. We just go down there and eat pizza and shit. You know, and just hang out with the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we even partying or watching strippers.
Yeah.
And that to me is invaluable because it's like a family vibe. And that's what I've learned here in Vegas. That's my favorite part of Vegas so far.
Yeah.
And then the nightlife is untouchable. You know, it's like, it's the best in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go out in Los Angeles. You couldn't get me to come out in Los Angeles. Like, I wouldn't go. I already knew it was going to happen.
What didn't you like about going out in Los Angeles?
What I didn't like in LA was it's literally the same old people at the same tables for the last 10 years. And I'm not talking about the people who work there. I'm just talking about the crowds. The Hollywood crowd to me is stagnant.
Yeah.
They don't party. They do party, but they don't party.
Different type of
They don't-
party.
It's a different type of party.
After hours party.
They call it the Hollywood flu out there.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
yeah, it's like, damn, I got the flu, bro. It's like, we got you.
He was pointing at his nose saying party.
Yeah.
So.
Sniffleupagus and shit. But you know, it's just I don't know, just everybody, and I'm one of them, bro. Like I say this to myself, and I'm saying this to my city. It's like motherfuckers are too cool for school. You know, it's like I was one of those dudes. I was even too cool for the too cool motherfuckers. Like I wouldn't even go fuck with them. I was like, man, I'm cool, and like I was just like. But when I came out here, man, and the family vibe, and the nightlife, and the things to do out here for me, it's just I don't know. It's just more conducive to being social for me personally. Like. I like going to the brunch and shit, like the poppin' Lavo brunch, like baddest bitches in the city, motherfuckers popping 42 in the daytime. You can hit a day club, you know what I mean, like, and then you go out to the nightclubs. The production in the clubs is crazy. I can go see the Migos or Calvin Harris any day of the week, and I'm 3 miles from there. Like you don't have that in L.A. You know what I'm saying? They can't pay those dudes in L.A. Nobody's gonna pay Calvin Harris in fucking Los Angeles to come DJ.
Yeah.
They can't afford the dude. You know what I'm saying? So. I don't know. For me, it just ended up being a really good move personally, and I'm really enjoying being out here. I really enjoy the people out here, and I'm blessed to be here and thankful to be in Vegas. It's been a blessing for me, for sure.
I feel like that was an ad for Las Vegas.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
coming
from somebody who never lived here,
Vegas.
yo, yeah, like you know, and I'm like, I jump down to Summerlin, I go down there and do my little suburban thing. I dip over here to you know the Strip. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here in the Panorama getting it in. Like everything's so close.
Yeah.
And when you know, bro, you be in LA a lot. All you guys do, you know, when you driving around out there, that shit gets annoying.
Yeah. You're going 45 minutes for 3 miles.
Yeah.
Out here is like 2 minutes for those 3 miles.
I was just out there. I DJ'd at the Breeders' Cup on Saturday, man, and it was like when I got off the plane, it just took me forever to get everywhere, man. And I was really looking forward to coming back to Vegas to
There's a lot of space out here, bro.
just to kick it. Like,
Yeah.
God damn, I just want to go home, man. Like, you know, only been here 6 weeks, so
Yeah.
I always see you on like Twitter talking about like I guess what you would call the transplants.
Yeah.
That'd be like bitching about LA. Like
yeah, see, like I'm a transplant now, but I ain't bitching about Vegas.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like I ain't coming here like shit, man. In LA, we had it popping. Like I'm coming here and I'm appreciating where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like the transplants, some of them that come from LA. I'm not gonna say what city they come from, but they come to LA and they come to LA because I guess the opportunity or they want to be around celebrities or whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
But they also come in and they hate on the city.
Yeah.
And to me, that's corny. Like, why are you here? I would never move anywhere that I'm going to hate on.
Yeah.
I mean, LA is trash, man, but I'm going to be up at Chris Brown's party, like, you know, dick riding and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Holland Drive. Yeah.
Yeah, like, why you, like, how can you hate and dick ride in the same sentence? You know
I feel
what I'm saying?
like that's a bunch of New Yorkers coming to LA.
New York is
I'm about to say New York.
New York is up there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
He didn't want to call you guys out.
but New York
yeah.
is, for me, New York is it's like it's warranted because of like their history, you know, and the culture. Like New York got a lot of OG shit. It's really hard to like, but New York motherfuckers is assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like I got shitload of homies out there, and it's part of the culture. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we go at each other like not me and Kay over here, but I mean talking about like New York and LA people usually go at it about what city's better and blah blah blah. They're just two giant meccas with a lot of culture and a lot of history, and they're very competitive. But living in Vegas, bro, like it's cool, man. It's laid back and crazy at the same time.
You came right at the right time. It just got cold, man.
Yeah, no, I'm knowing, bro. Like
you missed the heat.
no, when I was looking for my place, I was getting fried though. Like
Okay.
I was looking like August.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
lit.
yeah.
Like
I was
getting lit up. I was getting lit up, and I actually really hate heat. Like I hate it, but it's just such a good move for me to come out here. You know, like I'm about to start DJing out here.
Yeah.
and we'll get into that a little later. But
Are you DJing? Are you DJing on the Urban Sicko?
that's what's coming. That's
what's
what
coming?
we're working on the marketing right now. We're working on everything. Working on the music. Like it's going to be like a real character. I don't know if I'm going to do like a Black Marshmallow thing because it's a caricature of me.
Yeah.
And
Well, let's explain Urban
Right.
Sicko a little bit. So you were formerly Homicide, DJ Homicide.
I'm still into him. To the auto OG people are never
Yeah.
gonna stop calling me that.
I mean, Homicide is
Yeah.
ill. That's
Yeah,
an
he's
ill
a
name.
legend.
I mean, the DJ Homicide is a trip, man, because it really is really what broke me in the music industry. It broke me on the radio. It broke me as a DJ, period. Like, I started off doing local DJ battles, you know, like in San Gabriel Valley, Pasadena, in those areas. And a lot of OGs from LA know that some of those areas were where a lot of the DJs came from. Like, you know, like there was a lot of dope record stores, and there was like a place like called Astros and all these places.
Astro.
So all of like, you know, there was like a lot of people from those areas, and all the OGs would DJ in those areas. So we got exposed to like K-Day DJs and Tony Gonzalez's and Joe Cooley's. And so those dudes are my influence. And that's what really got me DJing. So when I was, you know, like 15, 16, 17, I won every contest that I was in, every DJ contest in. So my boys was like, you know, Public Enemy was popping, and there was Terminator X, and my boy was like, yo, man, you ill. They should you be killing motherfuckers like fucking, you like a DJ homicidal motherfucker. And they just like started calling me that. So I don't believe you should ever make your own nickname. I think like it should be given to you. So my boy, Chris Hunter.
The West Coast got some horrible DJ names. I always say that.
Yeah.
Say the DJ. Like,
Who got a cool DJ name though? Crooked?
Nah.
Crooked
It's
though?
not. I think the person makes it.
No, but all of our names are like,
Nah,
is
but-
that cool?
But the coolest one to me is Rockticon.
Rocticon's a good name.
a dope name. to me.
Rocticon's a good
It's
name.
like a superhero
Yeah,
slash
yeah,
hipster.
yeah.
It's pretty much who he
He
is.
blends in anywhere. He's great.
It's a superhero hipster. Like, that's him all day.
I've always liked Melody.
Yeah.
That's
That's his
a
name.
great name.
But
Yeah.
I feel like he made Melody dope. Like
Yeah.
the DJ made it dope, and that's why I think like
You know
Kid
what's-
Capri. Kid Capri to me is a dope name, but
Kid
it's
Capri
really
is-
He's
not.
one of my favorites.
Yeah,
bro.
but he made Kid Capri dope. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna give you like my favorite DJs. My favorite DJ of all time is DJ Jazzy Jeff. DJ Jazzy Jeff for me growing up was just, he was everything. And also there was also Cash Money, who was probably, I'm not gonna say he was iller, but he was a groundbreaking bad motherfucker. Like,
both Philly DJs.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, DJ Miz and all that shit. So that's the whole era that I grew up in with Aladdin and them dudes and all that
How
shit.
did you hear? How'd you hear that shit in L.A.?
In LA, there was a radio station. There was two stations. There was KDAY, which was on AM stereo, that was the first 24-hour hip hop station in the United States. Even back in the 80s, Hot 97 wasn't doing that. You know, like K-Day was pure hip hop, 100%.
all day. Yeah.
They had it in New York.
No,
Nah, not back then. Not in the 80s. New York had like specialty shows.
We just had like hip hop on the weekends.
Yeah.
Fridays and
Yeah,
Saturdays.
like
that was it.
Red Alert, all that
Red Alert,
shit.
Chuck Chilla, Molly Mall.
Molly Mall, all that shit. I used to listen to
Awesome
that
too.
So my mother is from the East Coast. So
Where is she from?
She's from Cincinnati, but she grew up in New York. So my mother used to take me to New York every summer.
Oh, okay.
So I used to go on 125th in Harlem. You know, when I was a kid, she used to scare the shit out of me. But
Really?
dude, the hood,
This is probably like the 80s, 90s. Bro.
no, it was rough, bro. Like coming from LA is rough. Like
What
it's
part
not
of-
as rough looking. It's rough people. It's
What
not
part of 125th?
I don't remember. Just the whole shit. Like, it was just raw down there. Like, it was just, it looked like the Grandmaster Flash video. Like, it was that real. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit was real.
The
but
projects.
But wait, was this the 80s?
Yeah, this was the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this was
that's
the
what I'm
80s.
saying.
Yeah, 80s was no
No,
joke.
no, the 80s in Harlem was no joke. Like, my family lived there, so I would go to New York in the 80s. And that also helped me out with hip hop a lot because my mom would let me buy records out there. And that's where I got PSK for Schoolie D and all that shit. Like, I would bought that in New York, and I brought that shit back to LA and Shell Toes and Fat Laces and motherfucker, like in 83 and all that shit. So these motherfuckers in LA would see Beach Street, but then I would have this shit on already. Because I would be in New York, with my cousins and shit. Yeah. So hip hop has always been like, I'm not saying like, yo, I'm an OG, but I was really at the right age of the golden years when it was, being exposed. And I had a little edge up on people because my family was East Coast people. So my father's from the South, but my mother and her family's East Coast. So
LA, they wasn't rocking like shell tops? Or
Nah, bro.
Chuck,
It was
like
all
Chuck,
Chuck
right?
Taylor.
and I'm not, there's a lot of other people that were exposed to that culture, not just me, but I was in my neighborhood. I was one of the first dudes with it. Like I was, and then all my homies started biting and shit.
You're
Like,
either
It was
wearing
all
Chucks or Cortez.
Nike Cortez. That was it.
I don't even know what shoes I had back then. I had trash shoes, like tracks and shit.
All-Stars.
But you're like the biggest sneakerhead, yo.
That
Yeah.
came later, that came when I actually had enough money to get the
Yeah,
things
that's
that I
when the
wanted.
money came, he became a
Yeah,
sneaker.
no, yeah.
I could afford to get the J's.
These guys were violent on
Because
Nike Talk,
yo, rest
bro.
in peace, DJ AM.
Absolutely.
You AM,
And Ben Baller.
Ben Baller. You guys were like kind of like the first, like, I don't know.
They're the
would you
first
say-
crew, bro.
Yeah,
You guys were like the
The
first
shoe gang.
You guys were the first hype beasts
Yeah,
in the West Coast,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
I would say that.
I'm not gonna give them hype beats, but yeah, because they didn't only do like the pop and shit. They do like the regular cool shit too.
Yeah.
like they made Air Force 2 look cool as fuck.
Yeah,
like
you know,
so, yeah.
we were just, to me, honestly, bro, like collecting shoes and that whole shoe shit is like another form of hip hop to me. It was the same thing as you know, going to dig with your boys, and digging for records. You hide this shit, or you get a dope ass break that your boy don't have, and you hit him at the club with it, like, yo, where'd you get that fucking record? And you wipe it out and make it white so nobody can see the label. That's the whole essence of that whole shoe collecting shit. So me, Ben, and AM did that, but we also battled. It was like an internal battle. You know what I'm saying? So like we would just battle each other with like rare kicks and shit. You know, I would go on to Japan and shit because my band and shit, and I would come back with like dead stock 85 fucking you know, Jordan 1s and shit. And they would be like, "Oh fuck you, dog," you know. And we just went at each other. And to me, that fever of it was what was special about it. So then there was the cats in New York, you know, like M's. What's the other
Even
cat?
Bobito,
Clark
right?
Kent.
Clark Kent.
Kent.
Clark Kent to shoot, and there was another cat named Rev, Air Rev.
Yeah, Air Rev.
Air Rev was a gnarly shoe collecting cat in New York. So back then, in Croatian Style, he was out here with us.
Yeah, Dre.
So back then, we would battle those dudes like nationwide, like on eBay, like sniping shit,
Yeah.
like it was a real battle, and we were like really trying to set up a shoe battle versus them, and it was getting like,
And they'll be on Nike Talk, bro.
and we'd be on Nike Talk, like going at it, like, you know, like
What year was this?
fuck 2000,
2000,
1990, yeah, 2000 to 2002, like you said, and those were just like the golden years because it wasn't really cool to collect shoes,
Yeah.
but we were just like, all of us had kind of come into a little bit of money, and instead of buying something like real estate, we were buying sneakers and shit, like, because it was like little kids who never had the money to get all the shit that they liked when they was kids, and we finally got a little cheese, and we just bought sneakers.
It's almost like the first hip hop currency, bro.
Yeah.
Sneakers was it.
Sneakers is like, if you look at like Bitcoin, right? You get Bitcoin right now, and the worth like goes up in value.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like almost like hip hop had the currency of sneakers
And that's what
certain memorabilia, and the shit went up in value, and no one thought it would go up in value.
No, yeah.
But it's like you guys created a new Wall Street.
Because
like,
2005 to like 2009-ish, it was dead.
Yeah.
All the shit was dead. And then in 2010, 11, shit just went the fuck up.
And what people, like you said, what people didn't understand was like, the people that around me didn't understand why do that's like such a waste of money. I was like, we would buy like 1, 2, 3 pairs of each. So one we would rock, second pair was dead stock. You might bust it out later, and the second stock, the third one was like, you know, maybe you might slang
trade.
it.
Yeah.
So all of us had like rooms full of sneakers, and all they do was appreciate. So you know, I had a Jay-Z Air Force Ones, for instance. You know, the black joints, the lows. A lot of people crack jokes about black Air Force Ones, like that motherfucker wear black Air Force
Those were
Ones.
rare to get.
Oh, yeah.
But my thing is like, that shit to me, I don't know. To me, it was just like, it was my favorite shit. Just like the culture of it, and the fever of coming home or going to a shoe spot. You got to connect. And they meet you in the back. You know, like that kind of shit to me was more important than any type of fame or any type of, you know, accolades. Like that was for me my favorite thing to do.
But it was almost like, you know, like you could walk in a club, and there'll be dudes like, this is back in the day when you would have to dress up to go to the club. Even in Vegas, you'd have to wear shoes,
Like hard bottoms.
Dressing shoes.
hard bottom shoes, church
Button-up
shoes,
shirts.
Stacey
Yeah.
Adams.
button up shirt, right?
No hats.
You couldn't walk up like you do now. But when you saw someone and you saw them in certain kicks, in certain jeans, and a certain thing, it's like only certain people knew what the fuck you was doing, and that all of this shit. Like, yo, he's wearing like $3,000 worth of shit right now.
Yeah.
But regular people wouldn't know that shit.
See,
and
this-
it's almost like hip hop too. It's like
It's so hip hop.
it's
bro.
so hip hop
It's
because
so
it's like
hip-hop.
that's the difference of now. It's like 15, 20 years ago when you wore Supreme, I could literally buy that dude a drink and be like, oh shit. Like you fuck with what I fuck with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Even
saying?
if you watch, even if you
you know?
watch Beach Street or Rocksteady Crew and them, like it was about the Pumas, it was about the sneakers, it was about the tracksuit. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is hip hop to me. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I love the culture of hip hop actually more than, not saying more than the music, but the culture of it was what was in all of us. So you know, it was shoes, records.
Yep.
And then I went from there and stopped collecting bear bricks, like that's a way more expensive version of sneakers. And
That's expensive as fuck.
right.
Yeah,
But
your collection is monster.
Yeah,
That shit
we
is
got
crazy.
into that shit too. You know, it was like we started battling doing that shit. Them motherfuckers is like 3-4 racks.
Who got more bear bricks? You or
Ben
Ben
Baller. Ben
Oh,
Baller all day. Right now he does. Back in the days, I've had 2 collections. So I had another collection back in the days when me and him started battling.
Yeah.
Like, because we went from shoes to that.
Yeah.
And you know, those things like they fucking
Only 1,000%.
and they really appreciate. That's what people don't understand. There's a method to the madness. When you buy those things, and you know, if you get them for retail, they fucking triple, quadruple. You know, 5 times.
I've sold a few bear bricks, bro, and they're like they retail $600, and motherfuckers are paying $3 to $4 grand for that shit.
Absolutely.
Wait,
So
what's the most expensive one? The Chanel one?
the Chanel one is like 30 G's, 35 G's now. Back in the days, like 2009, 2010, you could have got it for 3 racks.
You had that one?
I had it. I don't have it anymore. See, I sold my first collection
Wow.
because I got over it. I was like, and I had the COS 4-footers.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I already had all that
you
shit.
were early on the game,
Right,
bro.
so
remember that shit.
I had 3 COS 4-footers, and then I had 50 bear bricks.
Do you wish you still had it or not?
The only reason I don't really wish I had all of them, but the COS pieces I wish I still had. And if
yeah, those cars go for like 50
Yeah.
or 60 G's now, bro.
yeah, yeah.
That shit
No,
is nasty.
some of them are 100.
Yeah,
they're
those shits
100
is-
a piece.
The one he had, I remember you used to put it on Instagram. It was the dissector one, the
Yeah.
big one. I've never seen that in person.
Yeah.
The black one, that shit is crazy.
It's
man.
crazy, bro. So we were the first ones to really make like galleries of them shits.
Yeah.
Like personal galleries, like
Like-
a whole fucking wall of thousands of dollars of fucking bear bricks.
Like everybody has sneaker rooms, but these motherfuckers make galleries like at
Yeah.
the, like just the corner of the crib, and it was just like walls of just fucking bear bricks.
And then what else? What's weird now? That culture is exploded. You know, like now motherfuckers like those things are like we used to get them. Like I got some of my COS joints for $300. You know, now them shits is $8 or $9 grand.
Yeah.
Like you can't even go back and get them.
Like the Pinocchio cars is like 7
Yeah,
G's. That should
it's
retail
like-
for 400.
Yeah.
But how do you feel now? Because everything is so played out now, right? It's so
so played out.
It's so washed, still, right?
Everything is washed, bro.
It's
I'm
so
washed. Everybody's
no,
washed.
I'm saying like the sneaker game and what it used to be, right?
Of course.
Because
It's like
it's
the-
not about the game no more. It's about clout.
You know what's funny? He's mentioning that. One of the last times I seen Craig, he was at Riff and he bought the only 1985 UNC that was in the store, and that's all he fucking bought.
How much
Yeah.
was
He
that?
I think, I don't know, he probably paid $1,500 or some
Yep.
shit like that.
Yep.
And he got hooked up, but it's one of those things where he was going after the shit that nobody was going for.
Yeah.
And it was like the rarest shit. A UNC 1985 is probably one of the rarest Jordan 1s there is.
Yeah, I love that shit. Like to me, like we always call those holy grails. So it's
Yeah.
like if you don't care about the origin, or you don't care, like to me, it's just like you guys weren't there then. So to me, this is special because this is where it came from, and that's kind of almost it dates you. You know, like this motherfucker's kind of old. But my first pair of Jordans I got was in '85, and my mother bought them for me. The R.O.A.D Chicago joints.
Yeah.
It was $60. And back then, that was like
I remember when it first
$300.
came out. That was a big deal. It
The
was
band
like,
one.
Did you have one?
Yeah,
I didn't have it, nah.
No.
But my
Why
mom-
not? Why
I
not?
couldn't afford it. It was
Right?
so much. My mom was like,
that was like-
I'm not paying that much money for no fucking sneakers.
So that was the oldest pair. That was like, you know, my mom got. I was like the only pair I got all year. So to go back to the DJ shit though, the homicide shit. You know, then I started getting into you know, trying to DJ. You know, like I try to learn my craft and try to become dope at it. You know, like inspired by the Jazzy Jeffs and Tony Gonzalez, Joe Cooley, Cash Money, New York Cats. I loved Pete Rock. You know, I really actually love radio DJs, the hip hop radio DJs.
Yeah, P Rock was dope on BLS.
Pete Rock
back in
was
the
so
days.
dope.
Yeah.
Clark Kent was really dope
Yeah.
back on the radio back in the days. I used to listen to them cats, and then I come to LA, and then the newer wave, the kids that were under me became like the beat junkies. They were like the next wave.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I used to be on Friday Night Flavors with the Baker Boys. They're the ones who gave me the shot in Los Angeles. They let me DJ for an hour every Friday night, and their radio show to me, even to this day, is one of the dopest hip hop radio shows I have
grew up to
ever
that
heard.
show. Yeah, that
How
was,
dope was that
yeah.
shit? Like the vibe, the music, the drops, the just everything was so hip hop. Like they had original hip hop songs as their drops, and so did like Funkmaster Flex and them. Like I remember when Primo did a drop for Funkmaster Flex, and it was and he used the 10 Crack Commandments beat.
It was Biggie.
Yeah.
It was Biggie on it.
was-
And they used to play that in New York because I was in New York for a year.
What were you doing there?
I was doing a Sugar Ray album.
Okay, so you were the DJ for Sugar Ray
DJ and I produced music.
and producer for Sugar
Right,
Ray.
right.
Now I got a question
Yes,
because
sir.
there's two different Wikipedia.
Yeah. Homicides?
Well, no, there's two different sagas on how you got in the group.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the two and tell me
Yeah.
which one's the right one.
Okay, cool.
So the first one is that DJ Lethal from House of Pain, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
House of Pain was originally on the first album for Sugar Ray. He didn't want to go on tour with them, and then he somehow linked you up with them to go on tour, and then you joined the group for the second album.
Okay, what's the other story?
The other story is that you guys were a group all together, and you guys were called the Shrinky Dinks.
There's a little bit of truth to both stories, but they're
Okay.
both false.
They're both false.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go,
Yeah, I
Wikipedia.
know, right?
Okay, so
Because I was like, yo, DJ Lethal? I'm like, all
yeah,
right,
so
this
this is what happened. So back in the days, I used to be an intern. When I worked with the Baker Boys, Friday Night Flavors, they were managed by a dude named Happy Walters. Happy Walters ran a label called Immortal Records. Immortal Records had Funk Dubious. He managed House of Pain.
Funk Dubious. Wow.
He managed all that whole like Cypress Hill.
I'm about to say that, Cypress
He
Hill.
managed Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
And he managed the Baker Boys. So I would just go to his office all the time with them. Like, we'd be doing production. Like, we got to go meet our manager, Happy. So I would always be in that office. House of Pain walking in, Funk Dubious walking in, Cypress
shit,
Hill
man.
walking
Weren't
in.
they a crew? What was the name of their crew, right? They were like all connected.
Soul Assassins.
Soul
Soul
Assassins.
Assassins.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So, I'm just in there. I'm just like the only black motherfucker. And then there was the Hooligans. The Hooligans used to be in there too. The
The
Hooligans,
Hooligans was
Alchemists.
yeah, exactly.
Alchemist and Scott Kahn.
Exactly,
So they were
yeah.
way younger than me. There's a whole other story about that shit too, because that's how I met AM. I met
wow.
AM at the Hooligans video shoot.
Oh, wow.
In the Hooligans video shoot, AM was there with evidence from Dilated.
See, I thought you might have met AM going on tour with Sugar Ray in Crazy Town.
Nah, I met AM. I met AM when they were young. When them dudes were, he was up there smoking weed. I was like, who's
Yeah,
this
they was
white
like-
kid smoking weed like 16?
It was like
years old?
15, 16 at
Yeah.
the time. Yeah, man.
So there was a DJ, my boy, he's kind of strung out now, but his name was Pen One. He was the Hooligans DJ, and he was like my protege. And when I'm talking protege, I'm like only 19.
Was this Pen One who
Pen
also was
One-
Exhibit? DJ?
Absolutely.
Yo, that's my fucking man, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Pen One was like my little
He
brother.
be walking around Fairfax
He's
just
all-
chilling.
He's all fucked up.
Yeah.
But Pen One
Pen One's the
was a
shit.
dope ass beat maker. Like me and him got SP12s, and me and him used to make tracks. This is before I was in Sugar Ray. So I met AM and all them, like the Hooligans was like, yo man, we need some turntables for our video shoot. Can we use your shit? So I was like, all right, cool. I didn't know who they were, but I was just being cool. So then I went up there to meet him, and I set my turntables with Pen One. So he was in the video with them. He was their DJ. He went on tour with them and all that. And then that's where I met AM, Alchemist, Scott Kahn, Evidence, and they were mad young. So skip forward a little bit. This is how I got in Sugar Ray. There was an A&R that worked at Immortal Records. His name is Paul Pontius. Paul Pontius signed Korn. He signed Incubus. He signed like some of the biggest bands, and he's also responsible for putting me in Sugar Ray. So he had his finger on 3 gigantic alternative things in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Korn is like,
Yeah.
Korn is
And
huge.
that was big at
Incubus
the
was
big
huge
at the
as
Dude,
well.
time.
love
Yeah,
Korn.
man. Limp
Incubus was
Bizkit.
amazing. All
Yeah.
that shit. All that shit was
Yeah.
around there. So, to correct your story, Lethal did do some of the stuff, the production on the first album, but he was in the House of Pain, dude. You know what I'm saying? So they were still popping at that time, and he was just balling. Lethal had the Benz, the fucking mansion, like he was just like chilling. So,
Wait, House of Pain made money like that?
dude,
for real?
Jump Around.
I think that Jump Around,
Jump
man.
Around.
Tour, they made
bro.
tour money,
Jump
right?
Around is like the biggest record ever still. It's still in every arena. It's still in every
Jump Around.
football stadium. Like, and they're touring, and they just had a lot of big records, dude. Like, they were just huge. They were humongous.
They had like that, Boom Shakalaka Boom.
Yeah.
They were just big.
Who's the man?
Shenanigans.
They were big, dude. Like, they were just gigantic. So Lethal was still doing that, and then Sugar Ray was like, we need a DJ to like recreate some of the elements that he did. So Paul Pontius was homies with them.
Yeah.
And he approached me one day when I was in the office just walking around with the Baker Boys, and he was like, yo, Craig. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, you want to make some money off some white boys? And he was a white boy. and I'm like, all day. Like, where they at? You know what I'm saying? Like, point me to that shit. And he was like, He's like, he gave me this address. He said, go to this address and take your turntables and try out with this band. And then I went down there, and then
A lot of good things and bad things must have came from that question
Absolutely.
to different people.
Yeah.
Well,
Nobody-
some money off of some white boys.
but but
Who we gonna run up on?
yeah, so it was like, yo, you want to rob somebody? What's good, bro?
But all day, Pasadena still in me.
yeah. So he's the one who put me in Sugar Ray. I went to try it out with them, and we went to I forgot what they're called, a rehearsal hall, and I DJ'd while they were playing, and we would go back and forth, and we just got this crazy chemistry. But they never knew that I made beats.
Where are they? Because they're from L.A.
They're from Orange County. They're from
Orange
Newport
County?
Beach. Yeah, the Newport Beach
And
kids.
y'all got along.
I mean, does everybody get along? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, does all basketball teams get along or football teams? You're like, there's different personalities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So there's always push and pull and all that shit. So that's how I got to Sugar Ray. And then we got in Sugar Ray. I toured the world with them for 2 years. And they were like, before that 2 years, they were like, yo, man, we like, you know, I was like, at what point do you become part of the band?
Right.
And they were like, dude, like, you've been with us for 2 years now. Like, you should be in the band. So we went to the lawyers, went everything, put me on the paperwork, put me on the record deal,
That's
and all
dope.
that shit. So then
Was this like before Fly came out? Or is this,
yeah, I'm about to lead to that. I'm about to get to that. So after that, you know what I mean? After I had my place, and then I was like, all right, cool. So after we finally got off the road, I didn't have none of my equipment on the road at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just like, all right, whatever. Then we came off the road from Europe for like 2 years. We were in Europe for like 2 years straight. Mm-hmm. And then we came home, and we all lived together in one house because it was cheaper. You know, the record label was paying our rent, so we just stayed in this one big ass house in Manhattan, in Hancock Park in Los Angeles.
Oh shit.
One house. It's even in the Fly video. That house is where we lived. And I would just be in my room on my SP12 just banging out beats, like making hip-hop beats. So I was making shit for Chino XL. Like I produced some shit on his first album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I produced
I
some
saw
shit
that.
for Quest the Mad Lab because I had a good friend who worked with Rick Rubin at American Records. His name is Dan Charnas. So Dan Charnas put me on with American Records. And the guys, they're musicians. There's a guitar player, there's the drummer, and the bass player, and they just heard my beats, and they were just like, yo, dude, what the fuck is that? And they were just like, that's fucking rad, bro. Like, what is that shit? You know, dope, heavy hip-hop beats with sounds coming out of here and there, you know, and I was just trying to make hip-hop. Like, I wasn't tripping off of rock and this. And one time, we was just fucking around, and the bass player came in my bedroom, and he was like, dude, like, I don't know what that is you're playing, but it's really fucking rad. And I'm like,
That's a white boy response.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
the imitation.
And I'm just like, well, you know, I always wanted to, you know, because obviously, you know, being from LA, you know, we grew up on Dr. Dre shit too. Like I got all of his mixtapes from the Rhodium Swap Meet. Like I got all that shit. I listened to that shit. But Dre's production had live instruments.
Yeah.
So I always respected that shit. And I was like, fuck it, man. Like let's like, won't you play over some of my shit? Like just play some live shit over my beats and shit. And then my bass player came in there and he just jumped on this one beat that I had, and he just started playing the bass line to Fly. It just came out like. And when he did it, we looked at each other like,
Shit is hot.
like, whoa, like, what the fuck did we just do? Once we did that, we started playing it for people in the house, the guitar player, the drummer.
Yeah.
And they were like, this shit is fucking lit. Like, we ain't never heard no shit like this. Because it was like the first time, like, I kind of reverse engineered rock and hip hop. Like, remember when they used to have the guitars over that shit?
Yeah.
So I took the guitars and reversed it. And like, I was like, let's make it about the hip hop and then put the like guitars over the hip hop like this. It was done a different way.
Because were they kind of like a ska band? No.
Sugar Ray was like, it was a band with a bunch of different influences in it. Like, one guy was kind of ska, one guy was a punker, and the other guy was kind of reggae.
Yeah.
And then it was Mark was just kind of all over the place, and then the one that had a black hip hop guy.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, but that was the one noticeable thing about Sugar Ray is that everything had a hip hop, had a drum, the
had
percussions on everything.
yeah, because that was my influence.
That was your influence.
Right. And what we and not to take all the credit, but they really loved hip hop. You know, like they would listen to Mobb Deep. They would listen to all those shits because I had all them CDs. Because another thing that we skipped over that I didn't even talk about was I was the DJ for the Alcoholics.
I know. I
Well,
want
that's
to
talk
mention-
about this.
Talk about that.
All right. So they had heard me on that too. So they knew my background with that, and they loved Make Room. Like that was their record. Like they used to blast that shit. Make room, you know. So
a lot of motherfuckers don't know who the Alcoholics are,
man,
and how important they are.
The
because
Elixir, man.
Yo,
them motherfuckers was
on
fire.
the East Coast. We loved them, man. We used to play that shit all the time.
I knock 'em out the park when other rappers are hitting.
Yes, sir.
So it was East, because Alcoholics is J-Ro, Tash, and E Swift.
E Swift.
And E Swift was the producer, but he wasn't the DJ.
No,
And
he
you were
was
the
a DJ,
DJ.
but he was like, I don't want. He wanted to be out front because he did a lot of rhyming. So they called me in.
Yeah.
And then because they heard me on the Baker Boy show too.
Yeah.
So that Baker Boy shit just blew me up in LA. Like it just gave me the stamp. Like, yo, call Homicide in. Like, boom. And then I went in the studio with them and I did some production with them and then I did some shit in them, but I didn't get any credit for it. And that's when things got a little, like we all cool, but that's what made me lead the Alcoholics.
Yeah.
Like, that's what made me go do my own thing.
Okay.
Like it was never any beef, but I was really disappointed when I didn't see my name on the album after working all over that album with them for months. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people thought that they were from New York though,
Because we were on Loud Records.
Yeah.
Loud Records had Wu-Tang Clan.
Like people always thought that Cypress Hill was from New York.
Yeah.
And they always thought Alcoholics were from New York.
Yeah.
And the
Big
fucked up
time.
thing is there's a Cypress Hill neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's
in
like
New York.
in the Bronx. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
And then, Alcoholics was the first one to sample this shit, right?
no,
EPMD.
EPMD, that's right.
EPMD. So yeah, Alcoholics was really super hip hop. They were West Coast dudes, but they were very, very hip hop. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
definitely.
So then
But New York fucking loved them. Like
Yeah.
I remember growing up,
Yeah.
and I was like, I love that. Was
Yeah.
like
we
one of
were
my favorite
we were always in
early
New
groups.
York. We was always in New York. So after that,
Wait, how did you link up with them though?
Alcoholics.
Yeah. Because I was wondering, because I know they were like King T brought them in, right? Because
Yeah.
E Swift
Some-
used to produce for
Some other dudes that I used to
King
roll
T.
with called Madcap. These kids called Madcap. They were the first group ever signed on Loud Records before.
I
Mobb Deep.
remember them, yeah, but
So those dudes went to high school with me.
okay.
In Pasadena?
Right.
Wow.
So Madcap was the first group that Steve Rifkin signed for Loud. And then I was rolling with them dudes. And then, the Alcoholics would be at the listening parties, blah, blah, blah. And I met them there. And they was like, yo, Homicide, we heard you on the Friday Night Flavors playing our record. That shit's dope, homie. Like, and then they were like, yo, come to the studio and like, let's link. And for me, it was a big chance to do anything in the industry.
Yeah.
So that was my first taste of the music industry, was those cats, which led me to getting into Sugar Ray. So after that stuff didn't go that well with them as far as my name, like they never screwed me over, but they didn't put my name on the album. I don't even think they meant to do that, or maybe they did. I don't know. I never held it against them, but I did move on.
Yeah, there was just so much like, I don't know, like no one was like educated in the business.
No, not at all,
Like, yo,
bro.
we're
Yeah.
gonna give you this many points
not
on
at
the
all.
record.
Didn't
You
get
know,
paid.
That's always the case, man.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
that
young
first
kids.
album,
Like we don't know nothing about business. Like, well, even as grown men, a lot of guys don't know a lot about business. If you don't do business, you don't understand how business works. And then that's when I got into Sugar Ray, and then it led, to the touring, blah blah blah. And then to get back to the story about Fly, after we made that record, we played that record, and the record label went crazy, and blah blah blah. And then Mark came in later, and he was like, "Yo, we'll make this shit over the top," because he was always in my bedroom listening to Supercat, Ghetto Red Hot. Like he loved that record. Like we would always be blasting Supercat in the crib. Have bitches over getting fucked up, play some reggae, play Supercat, play Kenny Dope. Like all that shit, I would be playing all that shit. So he was like, "Yo, man, I'd be fucking gnarly and radical if we could get fucking Supercat on the record." And our other, there's different levels of producers. There's writers and there's like Quincy Jones type of producers who overlook everything. So then the dude that overlooked our whole album and produced our album, his name was David Kahn. He knew Supercat and he called Supercat, and Supercat was like, "Cool, just give me 20 racks, I'll do it." And then he jumped on there, and then once he jumped on there, it was just a mega hit, dude. Like that shit we couldn't believe it. So the first time we ever heard it on the radio was on K-Rock. You know what K-Rock is?
Yeah.
Okay, so me and the guys, we were sitting at our crib. It's summer, and it comes on. K-Rock used to have a countdown, and they're like, Carson Daly. You know who Carson Daly is? He's on TV.
Yeah.
Okay, he used to be on K-Rock. When he was our homie and shit.
I'm about to say, because he used to play that video on MTV all the time.
TRL.
TRL, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nonstop.
So he was like the first dude to drop that shit. He like dropped it and just blew that shit up in LA, like on K-Rock. He played it every fucking night at 5 or 6 p.m. Traffic. Yo, this shit is hitting by the beach. These are my boys, Sugar Ray. Check this shit out. He would just drop Fly, and it just kept winning the contest every night. And I remember the first time I heard it on the radio, I was just like, you know, I don't know if you guys ever produced a record or even been a part of a record, but to hear something that you created out of nothing in your bedroom, literally in the bedroom, to hear it on a platform that big, it just fucking fucked me up. Like I was just looking at the radio like fuck, man, like, what did we just do? That wasn't what I thought I made. The first time that I really got fucked up about my career was when our album went gold. Like, you know, I didn't graduate from college. I went to college, but I dropped out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never really won anything in sports. I played some sports, but I had never really accomplished anything in life. You know what I'm saying? And when that record went gold, you know, and the whole album went gold, it fucked me up. Like, I was just like, wow, like, I just felt like I was somebody. You know, I justified me as a person, as a talent, and I was really fucked up over that shit. And then after that, it just kept going. Then I got a formula. And then I started really like figuring out how to do it. You know, then we made the song called Someday, and then we made
I love
another
that song.
Yeah, that's my favorite record we ever made.
That's one of my favorite.
It's just to me that's the favorite record I ever touched, You know what I mean? And there's so many inner stories.
And the drums on that, drums on that joint.
You know what's the crazy part about those drums?
Let me play this joint.
That's three different. That's like three different drums going at the same time.
You just layered three.
It's
drums.
layered.
Yeah.
It's layered. Because when I make drum beats, I make them. I don't know if you can hear the vocal in the drum beats. Like rewind it back.
Yeah.
There's a vocal in the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I like layering drums with ambience. And it gives them character. So the snare and the kick are from God knows where. I took them off some hip hop record possibly. The hi hats.
You hear it. You hear the crunch. You hear the vinyl.
That's
in that.
something else.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a different record. Yeah, that's the sample crunch that I put in there, and I layered the crunch in there, and then I put the vocal in there, and then I put the kick and snare, and then when I put it up in the studio, them motherfuckers are like, the beat is a hit. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, and I was just like, man, let's rock.
And then you would just accent it with scratch, like drum scratches.
Yeah, a
here
little
and
bit,
there,
because I never, because what was. You know, we hip hop DJs, we want to get our cuts on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of records where I cut like real gnarly. I could bring out my computer. You could hear some shit I did on Sugar Ray where you're like,
no. But the shit was musical. Like you made it. You made
all the
it like
records that never made it, I was
yeah.
going crazy with the cuts and shit. But on these records, to me, I was just trying to learn how to be a musician. Like they were teaching me shit I didn't know that a lot of hip hop motherfuckers didn't know, like about chords and timing and arrangement, and they taught me all that shit. So. You know, then we made Someday. Then I made there was another one, Every Morning.
You was kind of rapping on that joint a little bit.
Yeah, Every Morning, and then Every Morning fell out, and that was fucking humongous. And then Someday was
the video
big.
was sick.
Every morning was
we
crazy.
were just clowns, bro. Like, and then the last big record we had, we didn't even make it for us. Me and the guitar player made that track for Run DMC.
Really? What was that? Which one was that?
It's called When It's Over.
When It's Over.
Yeah, bro. That was our last big record.
That was from Run DMC?
We made that for Run DMC. So the story on that is we play, you know, when you play festivals, you play with everybody.
Yeah.
So we played a festival and Run DMC was there. And, you know, I mean, it's Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, to me, that is literally everything on earth.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers are everything to me. From culture to shoes to sneakers to poses. It taught us everything in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So those motherfuckers were so down to earth and so cool. Like, they took me under their wing and took me into the studio. And I was in the studio with Jam Master Jay and Run.
Jesus. Yeah.
For 2 days. And they just telling me all kinds of stories, dude. Like, it was like I felt like I was in Crush Groove. Like, the shit they was just telling me, like just so many stories. Like, yeah, we did this and this and that. And Jay was like, I did Peter Piper or the whole shit's off turntables. And I was just like, what? Like, it just, like, everything that they was teaching me about the game. Like, and Run was like, yo, man, Homicide, straight up, I need you to make me a Sugar Ray record. I need you to make me a Sugar Ray record, straight up. Damn. And I was like, I will do anything you want. Like, I will make you the best record I could ever make. And I went in the studio. We flew back to Los Angeles, and me and the guitar player, Rodney, me and him are the ones who really came up with all the hit records musically. Like, me and him had the chemistry. Like, his guitars and my beats were just magical. Like, me and him actually made another record recently, like, another story. But me and Rodney went in the studio, and we dropped the When It's Over track, and we're listening to it, and we're like,
You got that? You got it?
We was like, yo, man, this shit is about to be, Run DMC is about to be fucking good. Like, we just made him a banger. Like, this shit is the most Sugar Ray sounding shit ever, but it's hitting. And our band came into the studio that night, and the record label came in the studio. And we said, yeah, man, we just made this shit for Run DMC. We're so proud of it. This shit's about to be crazy. And they're like, we turned that shit on, and they, hey, man, y'all ain't giving this shit to Run DMC, man.
Oh, really?
This shit ain't going to them. Y'all got to keep this shit.
Wow.
You got to keep this for Sugar Ray, man. And we looked around like, wow, damn, you serious? Like, I couldn't do Run like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's my idol and shit.
Did he hear it before?
He never got to hear it.
Oh, okay.
He never got to hear it. Yeah, so if you rewind it to the beginning, you can hear the same layered drums type shit. Like, so that's just me and the guitar player. It's just drums and loops.
Run.
Yep.
Oh, this was big too. This was huge.
Yeah.
Yo, this shit was #1 on TRL, bro. I should just be at the crib seeing us on TRL. Like,
I remember the video, right? It was like a Spanish theme or something.
no, it was a bunch of themes. Like, it was a kung fu movie with Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Then it was a punk rock scene. Then it was a new wave scene. And then it was us on the beach. Like, it was crazy. This was our last big record. There's a lot of hip hop in it though. It's just like
Yeah.
we just really learned how to mix the two cleverly. So
Yeah.
Did you have to break it to Run? Like, yo, man, because of the
what?
label.
Oh, you just never
the first
called-
time this has ever been talked about publicly is right now.
Yeah.
So I never told Run. He never got it. What I ended up doing was a different record with Run. And it was a rock remix of Here We Go Now. Here we go.
Yeah.
So we did a rock remix of that, and then that went on their album. But that was not what they really wanted,
Right.
Because it was pretty much like another rock box.
Yeah, that was like their last album, right?
Right.
The
And-
Crown album?
Yeah, and they weren't, they rolled with it, but if they would have got to hear the record that we made for them, I mean, I can imagine Run spitting on that beat, like, anyway. But thank God, because that record goes to my publishing, so I get paid for that shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I love Run, but damn, bro, I gotta get them checks
He
every.
wasn't giving you that much money.
Right, so we still live. We still get money for them shits like 20 years later, which is unfathomable.
Wow,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, it's something you do when you're a kid. You don't think that it would last that long. You never would expect it. Like,
I mean, how was that shit though? Like, what? I mean,
it's very different. Man.
did it seem like at a point where you're like, this isn't real life? Like, this isn't
absolutely,
really happening?
Absolutely. Like
I'm sure you were going to the Grammys and shit, right?
you're just going to shit, and you're so young. I think when you're that young, because there's a lot that you don't know, so everything's just kind of like, like you live in a bubble. Once you get that big and you start making that kind of money and you get that kind of fame, you're treated different and you move different. So what I mean by move different is you kind of live in a bubble. Any celebrity, Kanye, any of these people, everybody around him works for them.
Yeah.
So you don't really deal with regular people anymore. You know what I'm saying? You just deal with people who work with you. You deal with the studio. You're in the studio, you're in a bus traveling, or you're on TV, or you're recording. You know what I'm saying? Or partying.
Yeah.
So you don't really interact with a lot of people. Your life's like literally a bubble. Like, all right, man, we're going here. You get on the plane, you get on the bus, you go to this spot.
And your peoples, depending on who's working for you, they can close everybody out if they
always
want.
do. They always do.
It's like
You have your own
yeah.
kingdom. So your culture, however you want to live, is within that bubble. And it could be good, it could be bad.
And
You know?
I was about to ask you, did you get like any flack for being in Sugar Ray?
Absolutely.
Like, towards your hip hop,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. People, whatever.
Yeah, they,
Like-
you get your dudes who's like, oh, that's just whack, or that's
Yeah.
corny, like he sold out, you know what I'm saying, all this shit.
Yeah.
But I've always been really strong-minded. Like, I've always been like, that's stupid, bro. Like, if you, I appreciate music, and I just wanted to do something different. Like, I could have waited around and tried to been like a bootleg Walmart Primo and shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit.
Bootleg Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart's my favorite shit for something that's kind of bootleg. Like, oh shit, they got Walmart Steph Curry coming in to shoot some jump shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, right while I was really trying to, master my craft of making hip hop tracks, this happened to me. So yeah, I got flack. I remember, like, I'm not gonna drop no names, but I remember getting the side eye from motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's more like.
But you had to leave the radio, right? Like you was on the Baker Boys.
I left the Baker Boys. I left, I made $100 every Friday night doing that. That was my literally that. So I made $400 a month being on radio. They pay me out of their pockets. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally all the money I made. I was living on my homeboy's couch. You know, my boy, his name is G Wiz. And G Wiz is the dude who introduced me to Q-Bird and all them motherfuckers and DJ Disc and, you know, all that crew up there. And, you know, then Sugar Ray came along and then, you know, like, I got in the band and I took off. We just took off like on the road for 2 years. And then we didn't make any money until after Fly, though. That was like a long period. We were broke for, I remember putting 30 cents a gas in the car, you know, like, and we were like on the radio, like touring. You know, it was.
How long did it take to get that Fly money through?
Fly,
and then how big was the first check?
See, the Fly money started coming when the record starts blowing up. You start doing a lot of live shows, so that's when you start getting your money changes.
Okay,
it's not so much the publishing money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The money starts coming in when you start getting big. So anybody you see big that has a big record right now, they're going to start getting the money for the appearances, even if it's a club or whatever. Then your money changes. Like you might start making like $500, $600 to $1,000 because when you're in a band, there's 5 guys, so you got to split that shit up. You know, and then you start doing that, and then all of a sudden, you know, your price goes up. The bigger you get, your price goes up.
Right.
So we would be touring, you know, go on touring. We would make, you know, touring with other big bands.
Yeah.
You know, they would cash us out. You know, we'd have to split the profit of that.
How much would like y'all get in the beginning times? Like 10 G's?
Yeah, it started. You know, like dude, we used to play for $500 at a Dragonfly. Like we would play there on, you know, like happily for $500 as a band, like killing it, like enjoying it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you start getting up into the fucking millions. You know what I'm saying? Like it just depends on your status. You know, your how big your records are. You know how many people you can pack into an arena, and that's when your money really gets crazy. So you make money from that, and then you start making money from deals. Like you start getting deals for the band, starts getting, you know, endorsement deals. You start getting, you know, maybe a Pepsi or something.
How was that Scooby-Doo check though?
Scooby-Doo check was like pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie about that shit. Like, you know, you don't really do anything. Like, you know, they just have you out there sitting on the set and you come in and do something stupid and they just pay you because your band's big. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing about it. It's like people think like all these managers, some managers are geniuses, but when you're big, everybody comes to you. They want to promote you. Even like Kim K, like she's so fucking big. It's not like she's sitting at home thinking of like master plans to make money. Yeah. People throw shit at her because she's popping. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that hard to manage a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to get a ton of opportunities and revenue. So that's where the money started getting crazy. And then you start doing publishing deals like, you know, they're like, hey, man, you guys got a lot of big records. We want to cash you guys out for an advance. And we start getting, that's when shit started getting crazy. And then you start doing private events. You know, gnarly, big money private events.
Bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, like some billionaires like, hey, man, we give you guys like $400,000 for 2 songs and shit. And there's just 5 of you. You're like, wow.
What the fuck?
For what? 2 songs? We in there.
For 6
and
minutes?
y'all got to fly us out? So that shit, you know, you just living in that world where you just kind of like, it's just different.
So when was it crazy? What was the years that it was crazy that you were doing this? From what?
Like what do you call crazy? Like what's crazy to you?
So I know like I think
money crazy, bitches crazy, or just lifestyle crazy.
Well, I'll explain. But I know you left in 2010, right?
Yeah, I left in 2010.
You left the band in 2010. Yep. So I want to know, at what point was it going crazy with money, touring, everything? But I want to know.
I want to know about the bitches.
I definitely want to know.
Only black dude in Sweden with a rock band. You figured that one out. Shit was crazy. Motherfuckers beating on the door. You can talk to the band like they'd be like, "Is Craig in the bus?" Like I'm the only black motherfucker in Sweden, and we platinum. Craig. She was bananas. I ain't gonna lie.
Come homicide this pussy.
Yeah, because when we go to like that area, it's like the girls, like the white dudes are whack to the white chicks. They're like, there's a bunch of white dudes here. So I was just like a delicacy to them motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was skinnier and cooler looking back then too. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. I mean,
no, well, I want to know if you kind of wish you maybe like.
I don't ever wish I was back in that lifestyle.
No. I mean, if you wish like. Because I know you were touring, it was so crazy, you were so busy, you're all over the world. But if you wish you like maybe did something in LA and you kept it going, and you had something to like that you were kind of building along with all of this other shit, you know, because I feel like a lot of other DJs they blow up, but they kind of also juggle like a monthly party in their city and shit like that. See, you know what I mean?
What I did with Sugar Ray was so different from what we all do.
It was so mega, it was huge,
right? And it's more of it's an entertainer and you being in a band. When we do, we're the solo act. You're the solo act. When Crooked shows up to DJ, it's all about him for 2 hours. He's entertaining 1,500 people by himself.
Yeah.
You know, like motherfuckers don't know that. Like you're a legit entertainer, dude. Like you get paid to entertain people for hours all over the country, all over the globe.
Maybe not me, but some.
No,
of
you
these
do, bro.
dudes.
You be fucking. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like so. In that aspect, it's the same, but there's a lot more pressure on you as a DJ to entertain everybody. When I'm on stage with Sugar Ray, there's 5 of us. So the guitar player could jump in there and do a solo. And then we're all playing in unison at once. Everybody's watching everything. You know what I'm saying? When we DJ, motherfuckers are staring at us like the whole time, like, hope you don't fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
something.
Yeah, drop some new shit. You know what I mean? So that's what's different about it. But the crazy, crazy years, there's different ways to look at what's crazy. Like, there's fun crazy where you just was out of control. To me, some of the funniest years of us being really crazy were when we were broke, you know, because it was all about partying. You know, we didn't have any money, so we didn't even care about that kind of shit. It was more about like, how drunk can I get in Germany at 6 a.m. with like a bunch of fucking German bitches? Like that was making it to us. You know what I'm saying? You know, or did I have a threesome in England? Or like, you know, that to us, that was like.
That was rock star status.
Rock star shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to us, that was like, that was making it. Like we didn't even think about money. You know, like, and then when you make money, it's like your life changes. Like you're like, you start taking life a little more serious because you don't want to lose what you've just done. So it's like you start being a little more cautious. It's kind of, but the crazy, crazy years for me with the money and the fame and all that shit, the MTV shit was like 97 it started to like 2003, 2004 where it was just ridiculous, like a whirlwind. We were just, and after that, our last hit record was When It's Over. And after that, it started going, like it's a gradual decline.
When you were in the whirlwind, did you think, yo, this is going to last forever? Or you thought?
You feel like it. You feel like it. You know what I'm saying? So, but it doesn't. You know, it starts to hit you. And you're like, okay, nobody's really fucking with our record no more. Like, or the thing for me, what was complicated was I'm always being a DJ, being like a legit DJ in the band. Yeah. That's what always made our records cool to me, is because I would bring what I was hearing in the culture and try to implement it in the music.
Yeah.
So when music started changing, even when we started DJing house out here, like Body English Days and all that shit, I tried to tell them like, music is changing. We can't make the same shit anymore. Like we've got to evolve. And I started trying to, you know, put those elements in the records, and they didn't like it because they didn't respect that music.
Right.
So the person that did respect what I said was will.i.am. will.i.am took what I told him, and he took it like far as fuck.
That makes sense.
He took it to heart.
Yeah, so when we were in Japan one time, my band was playing in Japan.
I want to hear this convo,
Me and him was in Japan, and he was on the bus. We were all on the bus. And like I said, me and you, we was all DJing out here. You know, Vice, everybody playing Body English and all that shit. And this is when motherfuckers started playing World Hold On in Vegas and all them type of records and shit. And Fetty LeGrand came out, and you know, and I was on the bus in Japan with the Black Eyed Peas, and I was like, this is where shit's going, bro. I was like, you guys are global. I was like, I'm sure you go into clubs out here and you hear house. And he's like, of course. And I was like, you know, N-word. I was like, you need to put this shit in your music. You need to like start fucking with this shit. And he literally took heed to what I said, and he started doing it.
Yeah.
And they really did it. And he did it and took it far as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he also started DJing. But he listened to me. Like, he was like, all right, man, like, I fucking fuck with you. And that kind of was a wedge between me and my band, because when he listened to me, they didn't listen to me. And then we started going creatively going separate ways.
And then you saw his formula working. You're like, damn.
I told y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
I got a feeling just one fucking.
I got a feeling. All them shit. All those
boom,
records.
boom, pow.
All that shit. All that
Meet
shit.
me halfway.
That exact era is when we went separate. And then that kind of started getting close to 2010.
Yeah.
And then we had some other issues where I was just like, you know what? I was like, I just don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do my own thing. So I had a residency out here back then. I was at Jet. And I was at Jet every Friday night, I believe. And that became an issue because I was on contract. So it would start to step on Sugar Ray shows. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, yo, we got a show coming up and so and so. I was like, I got to play. You know, like, I'm getting a certain amount of money per night. Like, I can't. And I would even ask Jet. I was like, can I get this night off? They were like, nah, bro. Like, you know, you're under contract. Like, you got to honor that date.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that became an issue. And I was at that point, I was just like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm doing cool how I am. You guys are who you are, and I'm just going to go do my own thing. And then I was like, I left. I was just like, I'm good. I'm out. And I've just been DJing as a solo artist. You know, I call them solo artists because that's what we are. And that's where I went in that and the whole scam thing and whole thing with AM and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, it's so many stories, bro. Like all the AM shit is deep and crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what you guys want to know about that, but me and him had a really deep history.
For sure, man.
He's he's like my little brother. I'm older than him, and he he was just a really good dude. Like a lot of people didn't know him. Like I always say Fat AM because when he was the bigger dude,
Right.
That's the dude I fucked with. When he got all hot and had the surgery and shit, like I was like, all right, dude, because things got different for him. When he got famous, me and him got into it. You know, I told him, I said, hey, bro, you acting a little different right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you acting a little different, and we got a little distant, but we were still cool. And like I always told him because, like he started making a lot of money. He was dating Nicole Richie. Like I'm gonna keep it real. Like at first he didn't want to date Nicole Richie. And I was like, you fucking serious, bro? You got to date, that's Nicole Richie, bro. Like, you serious? But that shit really helped blow him up.
Yeah.
So, like, it was dope when he dated her because I was like the only dude really around him daily. Like, everybody else kind of had jobs and this kind of shit. So I was in my band, I was just fucking around, my little cars and shit. I would show up in my dickies sagging, acting stupid. And he'd be like, yo, dude, I'm at Nicole Richie's house. It's a bunch of girls over here, man. Can you, like, come over here and at least, like, even out the playing field and shit? And I go over there, it's like Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, like
pull up in the Ferrari.
Yeah, dude, I did a whole fucking bullshit. I did the whole shit, bro. Like,
you got so ignorant with this.
Coming in, sagging, like they see me on TV, like I'm like, what's good, y'all? Like, you know what I mean? Like
TRL.
It was all that. They saw me. I didn't have to even say nothing. They already knew. You know what I'm saying? I pull up.
They're like,
I was good. I come in like drinking, already fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I met her. I actually met Kim K through them. You know what I'm saying? Like I met her over there. She was super young, man.
But wasn't he like the first DJ to date a kind of celebrity?
He was the first.
That was in People magazine.
I think he was the first to get noticed for it.
Yeah.
And then when he got his surgery, he got really good looking, and he just started popping off.
That's when he like really blew up.
He blew up, it's straight up, and she put him in. He was always a fixture of Hollywood. Everyone was a fixture in Hollywood, but it was like the underground of Hollywood.
Yeah.
But he knew all the real folks. He knew everybody. He knew everybody that was important. But she put him in the limelight, flashes, paparazzi. He would be walking down the street, and then he started feeling that shit like, damn, like I'm on E! Entertainment now because I'm walking around with her. And then he just kind of blew up. And then as he blew up as a celebrity, because he was already a great DJ, and then you combine those two things, and then he just really blew up.
Yeah.
Because he was just great, and then he just like, he became a celebrity DJ. He was like the first celebrity DJ. Then he started doing Coachella, like he was just like killing it. Yeah, he was just like killing it, bro. So
hosting red carpets.
Yeah.
Didn't she? Yo, Nicole Richie had that show with Paris Hilton, like where they would like go to farms and shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that?
That was they were like the first
That was like a
social.
big show.
They were like the first socialites. They were like the first Kim
Yeah,
Kardashians.
yeah.
They were the first girls doing that shit, and they blew that shit up because they were from famous families. Obviously Paris and obviously
Lana
Nicole.
Richie.
Yeah, and they were famous Hollywood socialite girls who were popping in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like people loved them back then. And then Kim came on and.
Because it was a big deal when I would see like AM. I forgot there was like I think he was on Punk'd or something, yo.
He was on everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
And I was like,
yeah.
yo, I was like, oh shit, there's like a DJ on Punk'd. Like I was like, it was just nuts. And then he was on Entourage.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
he
just
just like
great.
started getting
Oh,
seen
yeah.
everywhere, yo. It was like, for all of us, it was like, we were all tuned in like, yo, this is the first time we seen like
Yeah.
one of us on like a TV show.
And that's the whole Hollywood
Yeah.
thing. That's like why people move to Hollywood because they hope that happens to them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a transplant situation.
yeah. And he wasn't from LA. He's from Philly, so he didn't come to Hollywood to blow up. But that was just his destiny. His destiny to be that dude.
It's funny, like Hollywood's like a come up city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you want to come up on fame and shit.
Yeah.
And Vegas is like a come up on like money.
Money.
Like motherfuckers come here to hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone's fucking focus from male to female is to get to Vegas.
And that's what we
stack some bread.
I didn't necessarily come here to. I came here. That's a big part of it because
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I came here for the lifestyle. I came here to live for regular prices. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I got my little paper, whatever. But it just goes a lot further here. And
Yeah.
at my age, it just makes sense. Like I really enjoyed it, bro. I went to the grocery store the other day and I dropped $40 and had like bags of
Yeah,
shit.
bro. Talk about it.
And that was in the,
What grocery store you going to?
yeah.
there's a couple.
$40
there's-
for bags.
I had some bags,
Shit,
bro. There's a little Mexican there's a Mexican store on Sahara That's like right before you
Oh,
hit
the
Decatur.
Isn't that the
Cardenas.
Yeah,
Cardenas.
bro, you go in there, you
Yo.
can spend
Yeah.
like $50 and come out with
Cardenas is
mad
like
I
shit.
fuck with that store. Mariana's?
Mariana's?
It's called like El
Mariana's.
Supre or some shit.
Oh, it's super too.
Yeah.
Those are three. It's a trifecta.
So I'm just saying, that not everything's like that. Everything in Vegas ain't super cheap, but
Nah, let's see what you're saying.
but it's like just your money just goes a lot further here, bro.
It does. It does.
It goes a lot
definitely.
further, and it's like, you know, like I'll be honest with you, bro. Like I paid under like $3,500 in the last 20 years in Los Angeles. Like everywhere I've lived, from the houses that I've lived in, the apartments, literally the last 20 years, just everything is just so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And to come out here to get shit that's half of that and nicer, you know what I'm saying? It was just,
Yeah.
it just
a
made
lot of
sense.
space.
To,
A lot of
it
space.
just made sense to me. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I'm sick of the traffic.
And the Raiders are coming.
See, everybody thinks that's why I really came here, bro.
Don't get into
When
that with
I
you.
heard, I'm like, oh, I see his
Yeah,
move.
motherfuckers like keep it real, man.
got-
You going out there because of Raiders?
He
huh?
got approved for the season tickets.
I'm not gonna
I was
lie,
like,
that
yeah.
was pretty helpful. You know, like
Are you a Raiders fan? Or
yeah, I've been a Raiders fan
Big
for like
time.
since '80s. So yeah.
I think everybody born and raised in LA or is
like at a
legit
certain
Ra-
yeah, because the
Raider
Raiders
fan.
they came to LA in the '80s, like early '80s. So my father had season tickets, so he took me.
to the Coliseum.
Yeah, so even like, you know how the Rams just came out there, they wouldn't let the Raiders come to LA because it would have been an issue for the Rams.
Yeah.
Like LA is neither 49ers fans or Raiders fans, and it's more Raiders fans than anything.
Yeah.
You know, the Cholos are Raider fans, the gangbangers are Raider fans, all the old heads is Raider fans, and so
That's
so,
the union between everybody. You know,
yeah.
right?
And then you got the other motherfuckers, like a lot of the real OGs are Rams fans because the Rams was out there first.
Yeah.
But you know,
But the Raiders is where it's at.
Raiders, there's so many Raiders fans in LA, it's ridiculous, bro. Like they got like from LA to the Bay. Now they gonna have, you know, they got the Bay, they got LA. If you go to a Raiders game in San Diego, it's 75% Raider fans.
Yeah.
Then if you go, now they about to take over Vegas. Man, this shit's gonna be big, but that's not why I came to Vegas, man. I came to Vegas to, like I said, for the lifestyle.
But you got that urban still. I want to talk about the urban sicko for a little
we'll
bit
give you
because
I'll give you the
Hold
origin.
on,
of it.
before we move on, were you involved with anything with DJ AM Sneaker with Nike?
I wasn't involved in the design,
Okay.
not at all. But I was involved in like the launch, and I was involved with, you know, like, you know, just
Because
give,
it came out after his passing. But
yeah, I was just, you know, there's a lot of shit. You know, like his documentary. I wasn't really involved in that.
Yeah, you were not.
I chose to stay out of it. I just, for my own personal reasons, I wanted to. I didn't feel like it was being done by. How can I say it? I'm not gonna say people aren't his friends, but there's a couple people that are very, very close to him that weren't allowed to be in that documentary.
Yeah.
And I just chose to stay out of it. I just didn't want to be a part of it. So I have nothing against them. I don't have anything against the movie, but I just wanted to keep my story with him personal and about us. You know what I'm saying? Like all the good times like that I had with him. I didn't want to I don't feel like, you know, like all the keep it real for AM and all this shit, like to me that's not what I'm about with him. That's my boy, he's my family, he's my brother. Like let him rest. That's how I feel. You know, a lot of times it seems like to me like it's you know, this might not go well. This might come back to haunt me and talk shit. But I just felt a lot of people was clout chasing my guy. You know, clout chasing his death. You know, a lot of people were gaining clout off of it. Clout off the events. Clout off the, you know, keep it real for AM or this or that and this whatever that. And I was just like, y'all didn't really celebrate him like this when he was alive. And it's not, I'm not holding it against him, but I just saw people gaining clout off of his passing. And to me, I wasn't trying to fuck with that. Like, you know, like I don't fuck with that shit. Like he was a very dear friend to me.
Yeah.
And I celebrate him. I was a pallbearing. I buried the dude. I threw dirt on his casket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I held the dude down. You know, private funeral, like it wasn't open to the public. So a lot of people that were that weren't at his private funeral had a lot to do with this documentary.
Yeah.
So it's like his private funeral was like his real dearest friend,
Close friends and
invited by his mother only. You know what I'm saying? So if she didn't give you the sign off, you weren't there. So I just kind of kept it like me and Alchemist was there, like cats like that. Alchemist wasn't really in it. His boy Kevin Wolf, he wasn't in it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's like people that I know that are really, really, really close to that dude that weren't involved in it, and I felt like I was one of them. And I just kind of stayed out of it because they weren't in it. So I just kind of did my own thing and just stayed away from it. I don't have any ill will toward it. I went to the premiere of it.
I was gonna say, did you see it? Yeah.
I went to it, but I came in really late. You know, I was
Yeah.
like I didn't see myself in it, but they never interviewed me. They never got my story. The shit with AM is dope, man. It's deep. Like you said, all the way from the sneaker shit to us practicing as DJs to us, you know, signing on AOL instant message at fucking 4 a.m. after parties.
Yeah.
You know, talking to bitches, talking shit to each other.
Was it hard to believe when he passed?
No, not at all for me because
you saw him 3 days before, right?
I saw him 3 days before. Me and him had lunch. We were just chilling, and he was like, at this point, I lived in Miami. I lived in Miami for 6 years. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
didn't know
lived in
that
Miami.
either.
I lived in Miami for 6 years, and I was living in Miami at that point. But me and him just happened to be in LA. I was like, "Yo, I'm in LA. Let's get some food, bro." There's a picture of us that I have, and we just we had lunch, and I never saw him again. So he went to New York. You know, he used to confide in me, bro. He used to tell me dark shit. Like he was like, "Yo, man, it's like sometimes I don't want to be here, bro." You know, I would talk him off that ledge, like, "Yo, man, you good, man? Like everybody fucks with you, everybody loves you. You're a great dude. Like you got the best spirit. Like you know, you got nothing but love." But people have demons. You know, he always had those demons. He had demons about his weight. He had demons about drug addiction. And when he told me that he was doing that show, I immediately was
The
against it.
MTV show, right?
I was like, "You don't need that. Like, don't do that." And he was just giving back. That's who he was. He was just giving back to the people that went through what he went through.
Right. Yeah.
Because he always felt he needed to do that. But I feel like that drug him back down that dark alley. That was the beginning of it. And then he got on airplanes because he wanted to still DJ. And after the plane crash, that shit just really fucked him up. And the only way he could get on planes was to take something. And it just kind of drug him back down that whole shit. And then, I don't know, I guess something he broke it with some girl. But I always kind of felt like he was going to do something like that just from the way he talked to me, you know, in the middle of the night. So,
because some people that I speak to about this, they think it was a suicidal. It wasn't an overdose.
Yeah, and my personal opinion of it is something along those lines. I mean, obviously we're not forensic motherfucking scientists and shit, but just from the conversations that I had from him, to me it was a possibility. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget. I was laying in my crib in Miami, you know, just laid up watching TV, and my phone rang, and they were like, "Yo, you know, AM passed away," and I was just like, wow, like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is just crazy. So, you know, I look at death a different way. You know, I've had a lot of death around me. You know, my father, some of my good friends, AM, you know, a lot of family. And it's sad, but to me, people take death personally for themselves. Like, they look at it like if somebody dies you're close to, you look at it like you lost somebody.
Right.
But they lost their life. You didn't lose your life. You know what I'm saying? What you got to do is celebrate all the dope shit that happened with them in their life. Like, I lost my father, but all I could think of is him taking me to Raider games, him taking me to Laker games.
The
and
good times.
Yeah, like, you know, it's like you got to celebrate people. You know,
the impression they made in your life.
Well, what makes you sad when somebody dies is that you don't get to kick it with them no more, or you don't get to see them no more.
So it's almost a little selfish.
It's all personal. It's very selfish. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying people shouldn't be sad when people dies, but it's all self-centered. The sadness is self-inflicted, self-centered. It's selfish, like you're saying. So I just learned when AM died, obviously I was sad, but you got to look at the legacy. Like, you know, the dude's legacy is bananas. You know what I'm saying? I got thousands of pictures of us doing dumb shit. And they're like, all the memories, like one time AM, you know, this is when I was balling. You know, I had mansions and shit and cars and shit. And, you know, AM he wasn't AM yet. He was still big AM doing clubs for like 500-600 in LA. And he came over to my house one night and he lied to me. He goes, "Hey man, can I borrow your Denali?" And I'm like, "Hey man, you know, I got 5 cars. Go ahead, just take that shit." You know what I'm saying? But he had like this little Chevy truck, and he had this really cool sound system in his truck.
Yeah.
And I used to always compliment him on it. And I was like, "Damn man, your sounds is fucking dope, bro." Like,
Was that GMC truck here?
yeah, I think it was his GMC truck. And then he came over. It was kind of weird to me that he wanted to borrow my truck. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, "Oh, my shit's in the shop. Can I borrow your shit?" And I was like, "You my dude. Like, take my truck. You can have it for like a month. I don't care."
Yeah.
And the dude, for no reason, took my truck and took it and installed his exact sound system in my truck.
Damn.
When he wasn't popping, you know, he was making like 500 a night.
That's dope.
A night. So it was just,
He went down Central and 12th and just hooked your
yeah,
shit
he just
up.
hooked my shit up. I came back. He installed the cameras in my shit. Like when I could back up, I could see the cameras and shit. It's just shit like that, bro. It's like, damn, man, like that's beyond some homie shit. Like you just saw what I enjoy. You didn't even ask me, but you just wanted to see me happy. No matter, even if I had way more money than you. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got off the road with Sugar Ray, the first place I would go was his house. It's the first place I would go. I'll come home, go sit at his house, sit on his couch, and just kick it with him. Like, because I wanted to get away from the crazy shit. Kicking it with him comforted me. It made me feel regular. You know what I mean? Like it brought me back down to earth, and I could just go with him and go to Wule Oak. I don't know if y'all know about Wule Oak back in L.A., but it was the Korean
barbecue.
This one in New York.
Alchemist
Well,
loves that shit. Yeah,
used to be one in New York, yeah.
So we used to love that. I was our spot. We was always there.
Willie Oak in New York was like, it was like the OG barbecue.
It was a
man,
spot, right? That was like
right.
that's when like the people that really didn't know what was up with Korean food got to
Mm-hmm.
get up on Korean barbecue. There's obviously way better places and way more OG Korean places, but that was kind of like the Hollywood. Yeah, that was our first taste of that. I remember the Alchemist. He had his own chopsticks there, so that evidence. Oh yeah, if you was real, you had your own chopsticks. Like they had your name on them. Like they used to do you like that in there. So we was always in there, and that's the things that I enjoyed. Like I was always a really down to earth dude. Like making money and being famous never really fucked me up. Like as far as I never got acted different with my friends. If anything, it brought me closer to them. You know, all my boys, I shared everything I had with them. They stayed at my house. They fucked their bitches at my house. They drove my cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys could do whatever you want. You know, let me share this shit with you because I know you're probably not going to get to experience this kind of shit. Mm-hmm. And it kept me grounded. It made me feel better to be around my friends, you know. Yeah. And cause a lot of times that bites you in the ass, though, you know, because your friends can come back to haunt you because they expect things from you. They extort you. You know, like, oh man, why didn't you, you know, you blew up, man, you should buy me a car, motherfucker, you know, shit like that. Yeah. But I had good people around me. They never, I'm not gonna say some people didn't take advantage of it, but you know, like my core friends were very, very cool, and you know, we just kicked it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I took care of everybody, and just because I wanted to, you know, like that was me. So, you know, like Ben Baller, like before Ben Baller blew up, like he used to have my cars. Like I would give him my cars. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how did you meet Ben Baller?
Shoes.
And
being around LA, DJ scene, like a lot of people don't know that Ben was a DJ. You know, Ben was doing just like us.
I hear him talk about that shit all the time, dude, and I never believed him though.
Ben, not believing Ben is part of the game. It's kind of, you know.
Yeah, I heard
really, motherfucker.
I heard he was like involved with like Jay-Z signing at a point and some shit like that.
He was involved in a record. Like he has plaques for that shit, like Priority Records, bro. Like he was there. He was with A&R. He worked with Dr.
He worked with Dre, right?
He worked with all them motherfuckers, bro. So he was heavily involved.
Wait, he got Jay-Z signed? What?
Oh, he was involved with something. Like he almost signed Jay-Z, or he was about to sign Jay-Z, but somebody didn't want to pay $50,000 a month for some mansion for Jay-Z in LA. Something along those lines. I remember I read something, I heard something with Ben Baller to do.
Yeah, so Ben is like always been an OG fixture in Los Angeles, very tied in with, you know, at the culture, very tied in all the way from the gangs to the hills. You know, like he's
from
just
Slauson to the hills.
Yeah, he's just always been tied in, even when he didn't have nothing. He's just always been that dude who fucked with everybody. Like he's a very social dude.
So this is before like his family had like a jewelry business or some shit?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really know much about the family jewelry business.
Yeah.
I know that's part of his thing, but the jewelry that shit came way later. Like even when we were collecting sneakers, he wasn't fucking with that shit. That was like way later. But I met him just around town, you know, like he used to DJ this club that was like the most Hollywood shit ever. Like everybody would be in there from Brad Pitt, Red Hot Chili Peppers, like everybody in Hollywood, you know, like would be in there. Yeah. And it was like exclusive. And he used to DJ that shit. It was like the illest Hollywood. And back then in Hollywood, it was dope because all the celebrities would go out and party, and it wouldn't be no regular people in there. It was just like really exclusive crowds. And
what club was that?
I forgot the name of it, man. I forgot the name of it.
And it wasn't bottle service.
There was no such thing as bottle service.
Yeah.
So it was just like who you know, and they let you in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I was in Sugar Ray then. I'm not saying I met him before that, but when he was DJing that club, and we weren't shit yet. Like we were all broke, but they would let us in because we was Hollywood kids. So it was like if you was in the Hollywood scene, they would just let you in. And so, you know, we just got close over. Like I see him DJing, and then, you know, one time he actually ended up selling me a pair of shoes. When I first got really close with him, he sold me a pair of shoes. He had, you know, the Atmos Air Force Ones.
Of course.
So he's like, yo, I got an extra pair, man. I'll sell them to you. And I went over his crib, and then we just chopped it up, and we just hit it off, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew him before then, but it was just like, what up, boom, boom, see you here and there, boom, boom, I seen you at a Drake function, blah, blah, blah. And then that day when he sold me the sneakers, like I was like, that's when he became like my brother, you know what I'm saying? And after that, I was always neither at his house or AM's house. You know, just when I come off the road, I wasn't even in his bed. Like he would come on, I'd be in his bed watching TV, like what's good? He was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You have a mansion.
Yeah, like,
Craig,
nah, I'm over here. Yeah, I'm at your crib though. Like, so what? Like, shoes off. Like, yo, you ready to get some food? Let's hit Wule, whatever though. But you know, I just like being around my boys.
What made him stop DJing? Do you know?
He just started doing other shit. He just started hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like just doing all kinds of different shit. He's always a hustler. Ben was always a hustler. He always found a way to make money, do some kind of shit. He stopped DJing, and he started. I don't know what he started doing after. I don't remember. He's just done so many things. I was just kind of going my own way. He kind of doing his own thing, and then
it's so crazy to like see like
he's a self-made celebrity, literally. Self-made.
I like
he like branded himself.
Yeah, he made himself pop.
He made himself pop. You never seen anything like it, and now he's like now when I see him, it's like if you walk down the street with him, it's like too much. You know, it's like it's almost uncomfortable. Like me and him went to a Dodger game. Like we couldn't even get to our seats. You know, he's at Complexicon the other day with Murakami and shit. Whatever. It's just like, and I just like I said, I just did a deal with him and this other company called Quantasy, who they work with a lot of big celebrities, and so I'm helping him push his platform to another level, his podcast platform.
Yeah, he just launched that podcast like a month or so ago,
right? So like I said, anything I can do for y'all, let me know.
Earlier this year,
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just here for. I like culture. I like to help motherfuckers that further culture. I think that's what we need. I think it feeds the people the right things, and that's what I'd rather hear and rather see pushed. You know this, so it's crazy. So anyway, so to jump into the Urban Sicko shit, Urban Sicko came from. I've had an issue with Homicide. Let's just clear this up. So Homicide has been an issue for me in Vegas. Is where it started.
Yeah, I remember.
Vegas had an issue with my DJ name where they didn't want to put it on the marquees
or billboards.
So it became an issue with certain venues, and then.
But it was a little crazy because you would land into Vegas, and you'd see there used to be just billboards of like a
lot of DJs,
yeah, like AM Saturday at Rain or something, and then it would be Homicide Fridays
at Jet.
Yeah,
but it was the Homicide was like the biggest shit.
No picture of him probably.
Yeah, no.
What year was this?
It was scary.
2008.
It's like 2007,
9,
8 or 9.
8 or 9, yeah.
But it was like
well, you used to DJ with me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
You used to DJ with me. So
it would be like Homicide, but it wouldn't really explain nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like
little
you
DJ on the side of it.
Yeah.
you can have like genocide.
And
like,
the other, it just became an issue. It just became an issue, and that's when I first started realizing the name was like. And then as you get older, you start growing out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm not proud of who Homicide was, but as I get older, like just the name, I understand what it means beyond the fact of being a DJ.
Yeah.
Like if I walk in Mastro Steakhouse, a motherfucker's like, "Yo, what up, Homicide?" You know what I'm saying? And the whole fucking steakhouse turned around and was like, "Homicide? Like, what the fuck is that?" You know what I'm saying? So I just grew out of it, and I became a hindrance business-wise. I couldn't go sit down at tables with people and conduct business with the Homicide. Like they were like, "Who's meeting us?"
The
like,
LOC is Homicide.
Yeah. So as I grew, I just kind of grew out. I'm not growing out of who I am. I just grew out of that name. Do
you think it's also a bad stigma because you're
a black guy?
You're a black dude, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think. I mean, I'm never gonna say that's never an issue. That being black's never an issue. I'll never be stupid like that. But I just think. Business wise, like if I own a casino, I wouldn't want Homicide on the fucking marquee.
Right.
Come on, you know what I mean? Like you get like some vanilla ass family coming from Nebraska and shit, and they're gonna be like looking up at the, when you first walk in and see Homicide in the front of $1 billion casino, like that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
As I grow older, I don't think that would work. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that. So that's why I kind of stopped using it. I just wanted to kind of use my own my real name.
Yeah.
On my social media, so I made it just Craig Anthony. Craig, my real name, and my last name is Bullock, but my middle name is Anthony. So to be different, I just put Craig Anthony on my.
When did you change that shit? Like in
2014.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was like
2014, and then like what people don't really know is I've always been like an out of work comedian. I've always been like a class clown. I was a class clown in high school, so I've always fucked around with comedy. I've always been a clown, and that was just a different way I could express myself. Like I would always find the funny content and shit that made me laugh. Yeah. I just start putting it on, the Craig Anthony page because, social media. I don't really care about accolades. And Ben said he had a problem with it. He's like, dude, you don't really talk about the things that you have accomplished enough. But I don't give a fuck about that shit. I feel like I accomplished it. I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Mm-hmm. So it became fun to me to share content and find funny things, and then my page started growing because of that. Mm-hmm. And then
because you would basically like repost like random memes or videos.
And then I
or
would
crazy
remake
shit.
them. I would make my own, and
Yeah.
I would like put music to new shit, and I would like start doing my own edits.
Yeah.
And it became like a whole new vibe for me, like DJing. Like,
But you were like the first dude to do that, like the first DJ to like do that and become like a world star, kind of like that.
They call me the Walmart World Star. And shit. So what happened was with Craig Anthony, then that was my real name, and I started putting some like crazy shit up there. Like, shit got a little racy, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So then I was like, damn, I should take my name off of here, because now for business, like the things that I'll do and say like stuff with like Ben and a quantity companies, like they can't fuck with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got to use my real name. Is when I sit down at the table with another big company, this is Craig, blah, blah, blah. So I took my name off of it and I put a character up there of me, Urban Sicko. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what can I call him? I was just like, I'm just naming him Urban Sicko.
And you know what's so funny? Like when I started following you, Urban Sicko, I didn't even know it was you. I thought it was like someone else.
Right.
I thought it was like maybe a homie or somebody that you recommended.
Right.
Like,
And I just made a character of it. And then when I turned him into Urban Sicko, that shit just started flying. It's like, it's me. Like, it's a caricature of me.
It's a bit emoji of you.
It's a bit emoji of me, but
Wait, but break it down, because you had a lot of followers. You were building a lot of followers, and you had like industry motherfuckers like following you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But it was like weird because it was Craig Anthony.
Yeah, and then I just flipped it like,
So how many followers did you have at Craig Anthony?
Craig Anthony had like 35,000, and Urban Sicko would start getting like 80,000.
80,000. Yeah.
And then they deleted the shit.
Oh shit!
What? Because people were reporting you, right?
I don't know what happened.
It wasn't it.
I honestly don't know why I got deleted.
Didn't you get deleted because you used to be private, and then you opened the floodgates that anyone could follow you?
Private,
but I was private because that's like it just like
that's what allowed you to post some like sick.
No, it didn't. It didn't because if you're private or not, that doesn't keep IG from you. Like IG can see everything you do. So I don't know why I got deleted. I still don't know why I got deleted. Somebody said it was some kind of copyright shit. Made it like maybe a song or something. I don't know, but what they're trying to do is cut down on all the urban pages like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the World Star. If you look at World Star, they don't post anything like that. It's not World Star. You know what I'm saying? Like their website is World Star, but their IG page, they had to stop doing it. You know, there's a lot of lawsuits. There's a lot of bullshit happening. So they took that shit out on me. But I had another page. Like my company page was already big, which is R.O.A.D Comedy Network. R.O.A.D Comedy Network is a company that I have with Quantity, who's the company that's behind Kevin Hart's LOL. So they're turning Raw Comedy into a form like LOL, but it's going to be a lot about younger content, like the younger people on the internet that are funny. Yeah. So I'm turning the comedy shit into a business. So what happened was when they deleted my Urban Sicko page, I already had my Raw Comedy page, which was already big. You know, like it's almost at 1 million.
But
so
you was tight, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I was cool because Urban Sicko had his own shit. So what
I know you had to be tight because you was killing it for a minute.
Absolutely. It was flying off. It was creating his own thing. So I just moved Urban Sicko over there right now. I might still try to get the other page back because it's going to cost money. It's going to cost money to get it back because or whatever, you know. So you know you got all the the hacks or whatever, and the people have their little inside relationships with IG that want fees to get your page back, or otherwise you got to wait till IG gives it back on their own time.
Because I was low key not hooked, but I would be like, if I had
you got nothing to do, you just check my shit out.
If I had a busy day, like, and I went on Instagram, I'd be like, all right, what did Urban Sicko post? What did Craig Anthony post?
Let me get away from
if I had a bad day and I needed a good laugh,
no, because I just was like, and it was pretty ghetto. It was like ghetto humor.
Yeah, but you was tapped in. You was tapped into some of the like the groupie shorties who did like the lowdown shit, right?
Yeah, man.
You was tapped, like you
followed the baddest. The baddies were all over my page. Bro.
Yeah,
so like,
there was a few times. I was hanging out with this one chick in particular. This was years ago, like 6-7 years ago. I was hanging out with this chick, and then out of nowhere, like a week after I started hanging out with her, I started seeing this motherfucker's name just start linking up underneath her shit.
Yeah.
Like liking her shit, commenting her shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta back off.
Yeah.
Like,
nah, but see, the thing is like, that's what's the funny thing is like, if the motherfuckers who are fucking these bitches, they're not leaving comments. They ain't liking the pictures. Yeah. They don't want nobody to know that they fucking them because they got other bitches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you don't leave comments. I don't like any chick that I dated. I don't even fucking follow her. Like I don't care. Like you don't want that connection because everybody can tie you to her. You know what I'm saying? So you just like you back off. So all those girls are like my homegirls. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying some didn't like me or some did, but whatever. But I just knew like a lot of girls were on my page, like
Yeah.
like IG chicks, like the baddest chicks, and they just had fun. Like it was kind of like toxic masculinity, like the shit that I was posting, but it was funny to chicks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some girls were like really coming at me like, yo.
But you was posting some like hot girl summer, like sassiness too,
Oh,
like
yeah.
all of that shit.
Yeah, I post shit, you know, like I had to do that for the chicks, you know what I'm saying?
Because they
like,
were posting some real shit. Like,
it's funny, you know, if you can't laugh at yourself, and I'm saying myself in general, and I'm also saying myself as us being men,
Yeah.
you can't laugh at some of the corny shit dudes do. You gotta laugh at that shit too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like so,
and that's the thing is that you always the way you curated your page.
Yeah.
You would just ask questions like, "Is this what y'all motherfuckers are doing right now?"
You know
like,
why? Because to me, that would get the best reactions. Like that's
Yeah.
how you get people to interact on your page, and you get the engagement.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was a relationship shit. To me, relationship shit is the funniest shit.
Relationship or
Yeah,
like
that shit works.
Girls playing dudes or
Yeah, that's the
you know.
funniest shit though. Like
That's what I'm saying.
that was my bread and butter, you know, because it gets people like
He was following like all the side chicks in LA.
He was, bro.
You were
I'm telling you.
tapped.
You were tapped
Yes.
into all the side
So
chicks,
bro, you don't even know
like the
my
major side chicks.
My DMs was crazy. Like my fucking.
It was elite, bro.
And then my boys, you know, all my boys would be in my comments, literally shopping for pussy. Like they would like hit up every chick that I knew, and the chicks see what they don't know. The chicks would tell me, like, yo, what's up with your boy? Like your boy's in my DMs. You know, he's trying to like fly me out and shit. He's like, he don't even know me. I'm like, yo, he got to chill. Like I said, he's done that with like a couple chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all the dudes that was in my DMs, I know exactly who you are. Like I know all the chicks. Like you try to hit up, the chicks tell me everything. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it was really fun. Like to have that rapport with women, even though I was talking a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have that rapport because, you know, if you make women laugh, you're good. Neither you got money, you got a big dick, or you got whatever. But if you can make them laugh, it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So I made women laugh, and they just fuck with me. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? They just want to hang out and like you see them in person. They're like, oh, you're fucking stupid. I guess you know. And the next thing you know, things start happening and shit. Have a few drinks. You know what I'm saying? And get real social. You know, make relations and shit. So. That's what I call it.
I love this guy.
Make fucking relations. Yeah. So you know, like. It's cool though. We're at a good spot right now. Like now to get into Urban Sicko, it made sense since it was a character. My business partners were like, I think you need to turn Urban Sicko into something more than just an IG personality. I was like, you need to brand him, and we can make him. You know, we want to do actual shows for the dude. We want to do content for him. What we're working on is making Urban Sicko a urban version of kind of like South Park, and it's going to be the main character is going to be about my life. Urban Sicko is a DJ, a struggling DJ, and it's going to be literally my story of how I tried to come up and be a DJ with Asian, Mexican, all types of like everybody I grew up. I've always grown up around multicultural shit. I went to high school with white kids, Asian kids, black kids, so that's always been who I am. So that's what's going to be in the Urban Sicko show. It's going to be like content. I don't know. It's going to be like a South Park-ish thing. So we're working on that right now, and then I'm also working on real music. You know, I've jumped back in the lab. Producing shit, and I'm working with some other cats. So I got one record right now. I got two records that I really, really like. So what the music that I'm doing, I don't want to be like a just straight up hip hop dude because that's never been all of who I am. I can't really front on my musical, how do I say it?
Taste.
My musical taste and my musical accomplishments.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an open format.
But you got a really good ear for like pop music.
Yeah,
top
exactly.
40. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
So
like,
but the question is nowadays is what is pop music?
It's what's good. It's good. It's great hooks. It's really good music. When I say music, I'm talking about instrumentally.
Yeah.
And us being DJs, we have an edge over a lot of people. You know, we sit in the clubs. You physically see what's working literally every night with your eyeballs. You hear it. You see what people love. So we've always had that, and that's what I brought to Sugar Ray. I used to see it. I was like, this is what people are fucking with. You know, if we add these elements, you're going to be right in line with these people. So,
but do you think hip hop actually goes in that category of pop music right now?
Hip hop is pop. It's the biggest music.
Yeah,
I know. I agree that it's big as pop music, but I feel like what pop music is right now isn't what we think pop music is.
No, because it's evolved into hip hop. Like hip hop is like when you look at Mustard, right? Mustard's a hip hop producer. He doesn't try to like do things that aren't hip hop, but his records translate. They get so big that they become pop records. You know what I'm saying? And he does some R&B records and some records that are literally pop. but a lot of his big records that he just made that was about him or his culture or the people around him or what they like to do became so big that it became popular. And that's what pop music is. It's popular music. So his records are big. So I'm really excited. Like, I mean, I can't really play the tracks right now. I can let you guys hear them, but I'm excited about the music, man. And then we're going to launch him as a DJ in January out here. You know, I've sat down with some people out here. I got some marketing that's going to come around. Got my man Cook is going to do my computer graphics and shit.
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm just fucking around.
Yeah,
but,
he's good.
You know, I'm really excited about it. Like, it's kind of under the wraps, but it's kind of not.
Do you have a residency locked down already?
I don't have any residencies locked down in Vegas yet, but they know it's coming. They just want to wait for the content. Mm-hmm. And
but you keep talking about Urban Sicko like him, but it's you.
That's what's so funny about it.
It's an alter ego, bro. It's like Spider-Man.
It's the best shit because it's like, you know, a lot of guys are like, are you going to get a Are you going to be like a black marshmallow? Like, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are like, you got to have to step outside of your comfort zone with Urban Sicko and do some things that you've never done before.
Are you going to dress different? Are you going to talk different? Are you going to become like Batman? Like,
yeah,
hey guys.
These are all things that are possible. You know, but right now we're deciding what, I mean, dude, I've gotten like, one of my boys does a lot of the what do you call it, production for EDC. Mm-hmm. Like a good friend of mine is Asian dude too, man. So I know that's important to you.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is how we do. But my boy Jerry's like, he's worked with Apple and all this shit. So he's done a lot of the production at EDM, and he's behind Urban Sicko as well with like some production shit. And he's like, what we want to do with you is, I shouldn't really say it because motherfuckers might steal it, but I'll chill with that. But there's some interactive shit that we could do on a production wise that's social media interactive with people in a music setting. Yeah. And then I can still DJ. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no disrespect to the, you know, like the EDM DJs, but they DJ differently than we do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if I could come in, the only guy that I've seen that DJs kind of like we do that's in that house element is Chucky. You know, Chucky is like, can get down on any level. You know what I'm saying? So Chucky's involved in the project as well. Chucky's doing some production with me. He's producing some shit.
It's like a big project, man.
This shit's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Chucky's like, yo, man.
But this page started as like a
memes,
like a joke, like just fucking around, comedy. Right? Yeah.
And that's how things happen, right?
Isn't you don't plan it. It's so weird. Like it's so weird how shit evolves now. But it's like there's no sure way of making money from anything. It's like something blows up. And then you're like, well, how do we make money off of it? Yeah.
So the people, thank God I got the people around me that have the vision. I'm a visionary because you have to be a visionary to be creative. Yeah. And people are just fucking taken to it. You know, like I didn't try to make this what it is. It just became what it is. So.
Did people try to hit you up with ads and shit like that?
Yeah, I've had people try to like, yo, man, how much you charge me?
You never did an ad, really, no?
How much you charge me to post on Urban Sicko? You know,
yeah. Like, how much is Fashion Nova throwing at you?
You know what I mean? Like, so, I think what I will do, you know, I'm just going to wait to see, you know, once we drop it. I'm excited to put him in Vegas. You know, like I've already talked to my boys over here, Hakasan, and my boy Moose and all those guys and all the other. Eddie,
shout to Moose,
Eddie and all those guys. So they're already aware of it, and they're just like, yo, let's just launch this. Let's launch Urban Sicko in Vegas in January. Like, let's get him going. So, and personally, I don't want to take him out of Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, he's never going to DJ outside of Vegas.
I'm still bugged that he keeps
talking
about
I love how he in a third person sense. He's like, Spider-Man's only protecting this town.
Because it's me, but it isn't. Like, I'm not physically him, but I am. But it's like, when we do the television show, it's not going to be me. It's not going to be my voice. You know, it's like, it's going to be written comedy with real writers and real dope graphics. Like the guys at Quantity, like I brought them up a bunch of times, like the stuff that they're doing with technology and all this shit is just fucking insane. So, you know, it's like, you just have to put all that shit together, man. And you know, like you need it. I'm not going to call it a gimmick because it is something that we did create that was really real. Mm-hmm. In a sense, it's real. But you
need a point of interest. You know what I'm saying?
You got to have something else that takes you from being like a certain level to the next level. Like if I came out and just tried DJ as Craig, I could probably do regular shit. Right. And I could get work and be whatever, and that's cool. And I'm not scared of that. But
do you miss DJ?
I'm gonna talk to you like this. Like there's a point where I got really sick of it. I really hated DJing. I hated the travel.
Right.
It just wore on me. You know, like I'm at a point in my life now where it's not about how many gigs I can do, as long as it's the gigs I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what DJing is for me, because DJing is taxing on your body. DJing is taxing on your mind. Like, to entertain those people, it can be stressful. The travel can be stressful. You can start eating bad. You don't get your sleep gets fucked up.
You drink a lot.
And you drink a lot.
Yeah.
You drink a lot should have been number one.
Yeah.
You know, and then
A lot.
it's just a lot
lot.
expected of you, and then you end up drinking. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you get drunk. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you start getting fucked up. So I don't really miss that. So that's what's cool about Urban Sicko with me being older is that I'm just going to do quality gigs, and I'm not worried about how much money I can make.
Yeah.
I just want to do the right things, and I want to do things where I don't have to I don't want to leave Vegas. Like, I don't know where I'm going. Like, maybe I'll go to Hawaii one day to go for 2 days and sit on the beach. But there's no reason for me to leave.
I've never seen anybody so happy to be in Vegas as you are right
because
now.
you didn't live in you didn't live in Los Angeles.
You're making it sound better than I'm thinking it is. I'm
No,
like,
but have
damn,
you ever paid
what am I missing?
Have you paid $5,000 a month for an apartment?
No,
you would have really
I have
loved LA.
not, no.
You would really love Vegas.
Have you been stuck in the 405 before?
But no, that's something that people that grew up in LA experience, because I was that way. Like, I was so happy to get out.
Yeah.
And people are like, why would
And
you
you're just
leave?
so appreciative of a lifestyle that doesn't suck your soul out of your body. Like, just fuck, you know. And LA's different.
It's
dude.
kind of like when you go back home to New York and
Uh-huh.
you're just like, damn, I can't believe motherfuckers are living out here and paying like $6,000, $5,000.
Exact same
rent.
thing.
It's the same shit.
The motherfucker's like, "Are you gonna turn into that dude that's like dissing LA?" Like, I'm never gonna diss LA,
Yeah.
but I will tell you, like, don't hate on me because I'm doing something that makes sense.
But the city is not the city that you grew up in anymore. It's like New
Hell
York.
no.
When I go to
At
New
all.
York, it's not
There's
the
no
same
liquor
city.
store.
Not the same city, bro.
Yeah.
Like, is New York the New York where motherfuckers was with the sneakers and the graffiti and the hip hop? Like, it's not the
Them
same
days are
shit.
gone,
But even
man.
when I see those dudes that haven't changed on my old block,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, yo, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, y'all motherfuckers
Don't evolve.
Yeah, you're evolving shit like that.
So look at you though. If
Yeah.
you never left New York, you wouldn't be where you are right now. I guarantee you
Yeah,
would.
man.
Like,
I mean,
you went out and you became your own thing.
I think it's very important for anybody to leave their city that they grew up in,
And you gotta see
live
the world.
and see some and
See something different.
and
Go
not only
different.
that, make your own bones in another city.
Absolutely.
Without your parents' help, without your
The
boys'
whole-
help.
yeah.
Yeah. And like make your own bones. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
those are for the survivors, like people that can't do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are in LA that are scared to leave LA. They're scared to leave that comfort zone because they don't
Yeah.
think they can do anything outside of it. They think that there's so much there that they can't leave it. I'm like, motherfucker, it's 45 minutes a flight for me. Like, I can be in LA faster than you can be in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You live there. You know what I'm saying? So
That's true.
I'm like,
No, that's real.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I ain't tripping, bro. Like, you know, like I lived in the suburbs in LA before, like, you know, in Claremont, like Vegas, it just feels like that to me. It's like, you know, the stuff's kind of new, kind of mini malls everywhere built. Like, it's the kind of same shit as the suburbs in LA. So it's like, I don't really feel like I'm missing shit. Like, what am I missing?
Wait till the Dodger game starts, bro.
Laker games.
Bro,
Wait till that starts.
I used to live, before I moved here, I lived literally 10 minutes from the Dodgers. And I only went to
Where
like
at?
one, I lived in South Pasadena.
Okay, cool.
So it was not far from the two.
Yeah.
And then you go right on
Right,
the,
yeah.
I could get to Dodger Stadium in 8 minutes, literally.
Stadium
You're a
was-
big time Lakers fan, right?
I mean, that's a whole nother level right there. That's
I know.
that's deep rooted. But I'm also, this is the one I want to talk about, fandom. I'm not the fan that my life is ruined when my team loses.
Right.
Me neither.
I'm not the.
I
I
used to be
learned.
that
I
way.
learned that that's fucking corny.
I'm
Like,
sad for a day or two.
when you take that
But
shit, like
I'll
motherfuckers
get
take
over
that
it.
shit too corny. They be talking about, oh man, we lost tonight. Like, motherfucker,
Like,
you
he
ain't on the
pl- he
team.
played.
Yeah. Like, you ain't getting no paper. You ain't on the. You ain't getting no paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't on the team. Like, shut the fuck
When we
up.
got eliminated this year for the Dodgers, I was pretty sad, bro. That shit was.
I wasn't.
You called it though. You called it on Ben Baller.
Look, this is what I'm saying, bro. Like,
Go ahead.
so when the Dodgers, to me, were never trying to win a World Series.
This year?
They weren't trying to win a World Series.
Come on.
All right. So look, if you know, do you know about the story about the prospects and about the pitching? We could have had Garrett Cole. We could have had these other dudes.
coulda had
They
them,
didn't
yeah.
want to pay Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
They didn't want to move the prospects. Okay. So you then they're going to sign Kershaw, who's washed. We've all known he's been washed. And you got Ryu, who's never really been that good, but he had a good year.
He had a great year.
Okay, he had a great year, but he's still not that dude. And the only real dog you got is Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the season,
And he's the youngest one.
at the beginning of the season, I was like, we don't have the pitching. There's no way we're going to win in the playoffs. We do not have the pitching. I said that 9 months ago, and they never went to get it. In the trade deadline, they were supposed to get somebody. I forgot where they're going to get, and they wouldn't pull the trigger on it because they wanted to keep their prospects and ride the same old sorry pitchers. That is not how you win a World Series. Look at the teams that were in the World Series. They had the best pitchers on the planet. Both teams did.
Yeah.
Verlander, Cole, Strasburg, fucking Scherzer, Corbin. Corbin used to kill the Dodgers when he was on Arizona.
Yeah.
The Dodgers never went after that. And that's how you got, when the Giants won all those World Series, who was their dog? Bumgarner. I mean, can you talk? I mean, are you serious? Who on the Dodgers is Bumgarner? Kershaw? No.
He regular season.
Regular season, he's Bumgarner. You can't tell me no.
But he's lost. But he's got the injuries, the backs, whatever. So whatever. Yeah. So the Lakers, the Lakers for me is the Lakers are like we've been sorry for the last I'm talking about
6 years. Maybe.
Last year's been trash.
Trash
for 6 years. Pure trash. Yeah. Pure trash. Pure trash. If you don't make the playoffs and you win in 30 games out of 80.
So what do you think we're doing this year for the Lakers?
The Lakers, I think they're 1 or 2 pieces away from winning a chip.
Shooting.
They need another defender on the wing.
Yeah.
They need Iguodala.
Like a dog.
If they get Iguodala could help with Kawhi or Paul George. Mm-hmm. And then if they get one more shooter at the deadline, then they're going to be hard to beat. Yeah. Because
you think we're winning 50 games and plus?
Yeah, they'll win 50. Because this motherfucker, Dwight,
he's balling.
With his extra medium Lakers jersey.
Yeah.
Yo, that motherfucker is like, he
looks
good,
man.
He's killing it, right?
Yeah, he's on it.
So LeBron, he had almost half a year off. You know what I'm saying? Then he had the whole summer off.
Yeah.
He was injured last year, so I also think LeBron is smart enough to know that the people around him weren't going to win. So he just didn't give his all.
Shut it down.
He's just like, man, we ain't going nowhere with these kids. I can't really. The motherfuckers is 1-6 right now. Those same players that they traded, they're playing by themselves. Mm-hmm. All of those players that they traded are starting for
New Orleans,
and they're 1-6. Mm-hmm. That's the same Lakers as last year.
Yeah.
So. People are like, man, they gave up too much to get 80. Motherfucker, we 5-1, 80 dropping 40 and 20.
80 looking like a young Shaq.
That's what I'm saying. So, that's whatever. But yeah, I'm
how you feel about the Clippers?
The Clippers are the best team in the league. Yeah. I hate the Clippers. I think
we all hate the Clippers.
What's the record right now for the Clippers?
5-2. Lakers are 5-1. The Lakers are playing right now.
Yeah.
No, they're playing in a few minutes. But sports is sports is the reason I got on Twitter. So.
Yeah. The talk shit.
Yeah, that's what all happens.
You know who got me on Twitter was Raúlism.
Yeah.
Raúl from
Shout
Miami.
Yeah.
That's my motherfucking dog, bro. Like he's one of my tightest friends. Like as far as sports, me and him just go at each other like motherfucker. Like we always going. But he is the reason I got on Twitter.
Really?
Absolutely, because he would just talk shit to me about the Lakers. He fucking hates Kobe. He hates fucking Lakers. He had like fuck LA. Like, but he's your boy, so it's like
I gotta follow Homicide now.
Yo. So Raúl has always been my main sports. What can I call it?
Like nemesis.
I'm pretty sure like at the time Miami was hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but Raúl's always been. I met Raúl through AM. AM was DJing, 10 or 12 years ago in Miami, and I went down there and Raúl shows up, and then Raúl just always held me down like in Miami, bro. Like anytime I go down there, he would like sometimes he would pick me up, he'd take me to all the food spots, or he would. When I moved from Miami, he has held all of my studio equipment, my platinum plaques. He's had them for over 10 years, like all the Sugar Ray plaques. He held on to them for me in 10 years, and he recently just shipped them to me. You know what I'm saying? He's that close with me. You know what I'm saying? So Raúl is like, he's the mayor of Miami to me. Like he's super OG Miami. I can't go down to Miami without fucking with that dude. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him always. But he's the reason, like he got me on Twitter. And that's like all the Twitter lingo and all the talking shit. That's 2009 shit. Like 2010 shit. Like now, Twitter is different now. It's a lot more sensitive. It's
a little safer.
Like all the shit that we used to talk, like how we talk to each other. You know, like how I talk to Ben Baller. We can't talk like that on Twitter no more.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's hypersensitive. But even with me and Raúl, man,
going in.
Like every time the Lakers would lose, he would change his avatar to the star player who beat the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just so petty with this shit, bro. Like this is back then, and it just he gave me the Twitter culture that I had, which was outlandish, kind of came from me and him, and we just took it and put it on a map, on a public stage. Yeah. But it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that's not who I am, but that's a part of me who I can be.
Yeah.
And you know, we just go on there and talk shit. Like I'm straight up, bro. Like I only go on Twitter to like turn the shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really. I'm not really serious about anything I'm saying. I'm just trying to press buttons. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that follow me that I know that I can press their button, and they try to press mine. And that's what the culture is. So, you know, that's what we doing. Like, you know, I got my boys who are 49er fans, or I got somebody who's a San Francisco fan. You know, there's a lot of DJs from the Bay. So we be pressing their buttons. You know, like the Warriors is trash right now. So we be fucking we be killing them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just had their great run. So now we like, what's good with your Warrior fans? Like, can y'all name 5 motherfuckers starting on the team? Of course you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're all fucking injured.
We 49ers. We undefeated 49ers. Now they all 49. They back on the 49ers. They don't want to talk about the Warriors no more. So it's all good, you know.
They picked up pretty well,
yeah. So that's what Twitter is. It's just a place to come, you know, interact with a bunch of motherfuckers you honestly really don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? It's like IG for me is I like the IG crowd better, me personally, because people on the IG, so you have to have something to show people on IG, whether it's some kind of content.
Some
on Twitter,
type of content,
on Twitter, you could be like a
troll.
You could be just some cornball in the room who just knows how to talk shit. And you can get clout on Twitter because you can talk shit, but you really ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? On IG, you kind of sometimes you can actually be somebody, and sometimes a lot of people are really fronting who they are. You know, like, there's a lot of dudes who get busted on Twitter. Like the people find out who the dude really is. Like he be working at Walmart and shit, but on Twitter, like you know, he got like all the chicks on Twitter, but then they find out he works at like, you know, Costco and shit.
Works at Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart's my shit. Like for anything bootleg and shit. So. You know, it's cool. Like, social media is cool, man. I learned how to have fun on there.
Yeah.
I'll never take any of it serious. Nothing is serious for me on social media. I stay away from the religion and the politics and all that shit. Yeah. You know, that's personal for people. You know, I got my own beliefs and all that shit, but mine ain't yours ain't mine. So who gives a shit? Like, let's just have some fun.
You gonna check out some Knights games or not?
I'm gonna no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming here like y'all motherfuckers ain't getting rid of me. Like, I'm about to be
I
Vegas.
feel that. I mean, I could tell, man.
I'm about to be Vegas Victor. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be in here.
The customer of the month for some shit,
bro. I'm gonna be at the fucking. I'm gonna go to see. I'm gonna be at the Vegas Knights games. I'm gonna anything that's entertainment. I want to go. Like I want to go to some Raider games. I want to go.
Do you think they're gonna have the Oakland A's over here at the Rio?
That's what
they
I'm hearing,
should.
huh?
They should. You know, like that'll bring
like little baby Oakland.
Yeah.
Well, it'll just bring, you know, and this is not saying, this is not confirming, this is not even true, but I heard some smatters about they might move the Suns here. If they move the Suns here, boy, the Vegas Suns, that should just sound cool.
Vegas
I could see that. Makes sense. I could definitely see that.
I would like to see the Suns here. You know what I'm saying? And we just gonna rock out, man. Like to me, it's cool. Like there's all this shit it exists in Los Angeles. But it take you 4 hours to go see the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how long would it take you to go see the Vegas Knights if you want to go see it?
10
minutes.
2 minutes?
20 minutes? Maybe at the most?
No.
It's across the street.
It's right
T-Mobile
over.
Arena.
Yeah, but
you
there's
can walk
there's
there.
all the people and shit, so I'm kind of.
But that's 20 minutes. That's not 20 minutes of
I
travel.
can walk there.
You can walk there for
Right.
20 minutes.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I be hanging out, you know, at Crazy Horse at my guy Brandon's spot. You know, I live like 3 miles from the strip. I got down there in 10 minutes. Like, I have never experienced going anywhere in 10 minutes in LA, bro.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
I live 3 miles away from the Dodger Stadium. It takes me about 30.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
The airport's 20 minutes away.
bro,
you know?
you just pull up, like, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit to me just makes my life more pleasant to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, that traffic takes years off your life. And I like the fact, you know, like, going to the clubs out here, man, it's like, you can't even there's no way you could top it. The other night, yo, man, your phone rings. Yo, you want to go see Calvin Harris? Yo, you want to go see Migos? Yo, you want to go see Drake? You want to go see Steve Aoki or whoever? You're not going to see those guys in L.A., not at no club. Drake's going to do 3 days at Staples. Yeah, stadiums. So Drake's going to do that. You're going to have to pay to go see that. You're not going to be able to hang out at the club. You want to go see Calvin Harris? Where's he going to play in Los Angeles?
Craig need to chill because he's gonna have all these LA motherfuckers.
Yeah. Don't
just Vegas is getting crowded already.
Just mute this in LA, bro. Just mute this in LA.
Any more motherfuckers
Yo, Vegas is so hot. Jesus, bro. Don't move over here.
It's funny because everyone I know from New York is like, I want to move to LA. They're like, everyone's
Dude,
moving to
they
LA.
are cool. Do that, bro.
Run that. I'll send you my old apartment address.
But see, I feel like I'm only telling. I mean, I know this is going out, but I'm just talking to you guys. I'm telling you guys how I feel. I don't give a fuck who's listening. How y'all feel about how I feel about Vegas. I'm just talking to people here that I'm living around. that I consider peers now. That I'm just letting you guys know what it's like for me coming from Los Angeles into this environment.
I feel it though.
And then
That's cool, man.
and being appreciative of a more simple way of life, but at the same time, there's a grand scale. The heat I'm not looking forward to. Like, I hate hot weather, but I'd rather have a fat crib than air conditioning. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'd rather.
The weather's not a factor out here, just because like everywhere's parking.
Yeah.
So like you in your car, and maybe you got to deal with the weather for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you just walk from parking to the venue and venue back to parking.
So, you know, it is what it is. I like if there's everything's not gonna be perfect where you go. So if I gotta deal with that heat for was it 3 months here?
It's about 4.
About 4. So 4 months.
Honestly, I would say like 6, 7.
Yeah, 6, 7.
Yeah, you looking at
I think
March up until October.
It's not that bad in March. It
No,
starts
it's
like in
cool.
June, July.
I'm talking that 100-degree shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June,
It's
July.
100 degrees in March.
I would say May.
May,
So, like,
June, July, August, September,
And then,
like 5, 6
Yeah.
months.
Me and Never like, what? Where y'all living at?
I know,
I'm
right?
like, yo, it starts in like
For
June.
sure, May.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with what was happening. You know, let's get it. That's all I'm saying.
That's
So
dope, man.
It's good, man. Glad for you, man.
So
It's
what-
dope.
So who's the shoe plug out here? I need to get like J's and shit. I need to
I
get
got you. I used to work at Riff, bro.
Man, don't gas me up like that, bro. I need to, you know, like,
the plug.
hey, let's do that.
Jamie's the plug.
Yeah, because it's like, is that what do you call it? Is that retail plug or is that like aftermarket plug?
No, retail.
Wow.
Yeah, the game ain't as scarce out here.
L.A., man, what? Like, no, but I'm saying like, no, for sure. Like, it's like, you know, I'm thinking that's how it is. It's just so many people in L.A. It's like when a J drops in L.A., it's like 4 million motherfuckers trying to get it.
Yeah.
Is it that bad? It's not that bad out here, right?
It's not that bad out here.
How many shoe heads are out here as opposed to Los Angeles?
No, 10%.
I don't think it's comparable.
10%. You know what I'm saying? So
it's not as much, bro. You'll be all right.
There's a couple standout stores though that have all the heat. And
Yeah,
shit
like
that.
the feature, the
Feature,
crossover,
yeah.
stuff like that.
I was at
On the
Features.
feeder.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
I was feeling
They
that.
have
place.
they have dope accounts.
Yeah,
They have the
and they
dope
sell the
accounts.
bear bricks.
Yeah, that's your thing.
I was in there and I was looking at the bear bricks. I was like,
Which locations did you go to?
I went to the Encore one or
when
the
Yeah.
Win, yeah.
the Win. Yeah, so I mean that shit. The Win is popping, bro. Like,
Yeah.
look up in the Win, those shops. I was like,
Yeah, I feel like Craig hasn't come out the house for like 5 years because he's like,
No.
look, what is this world?
no, that's what I'm saying because like in LA,
Captain
like
America.
like if I want to go to a shopping mall that's like the Win or even the one over here at the Aria,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go to Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
don't take me to drive into Beverly Hills.
That shit's mad.
I gotta drive through downtown,
Santa Monica Boulevard.
dude.
That shit is nuts.
So and by the time you get over there, you're just like,
Shit's closing. You
You're
don't
a
want to
little
spend money.
exhausted.
dude, I can take Sahara or I can go over Spring and jump right down in the Encore and go down to that mall. It took me like 2 seconds. They didn't even charge me to leave the mall.
So
Like,
the only thing that Craig really hates is the driving, yo. You just hate the driving.
I hate the
transportation.
driving.
Well,
I hate the driving in the culture change in the city. Like you said, it's not the same city. Like when I go out, I didn't even. Maybe it's because of my age. I didn't recognize anybody anymore in LA. When I went out, I would be like,
Yeah,
who the fuck is this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? And they popping like I'm like, what? Like
I mean,
it's just different for me. I still had the same juice, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't feel like I was a part of the city anymore, which is really odd for me
Yeah.
being from there. Like, have you ever, when you go back to New York, do you kind of feel like it's just so different for you in a lot of ways?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I know certain people who are still fucking with certain clubs, but I know what you mean. Where like, there's
Like
certain,
when you walk in the streets, like if you're not with your people, but you just look around and it's like maybe it's because we're older, but I don't even recognize the motherfuckers in the streets. Like usually when you walk down a block,
bro. I'm from.
you see your boy, you say, oh, I know this girl or whatever, or this
Yeah.
guy works at this so and like that aspect. I didn't really feel like I was seeing in LA anymore.
Yeah.
and that's what makes you feel comfortable in your hometown.
But don't you feel like the scene has changed so much? The club scene has changed
Well,
a lot. right?
LA kind of like doesn't really have a nightclub like life anymore. There's like Playhouse. There's like Playhouse. What's the one where Butch is
But
at
y'all
or
got
something?
y'all got more hip hop clubs than y'all
like
ever
the
did
day
before.
clubs.
Right, but it's only hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So for me as a DJ, like the DJing for
it's
me,
like so segregated. The music is
well,
just
the
like all
DJing,
hip-hop.
the DJing is limiting musically in LA for me. Like, which is crazy too because I kind of was like integral in starting that. Like, Playhouse in 2011, we started doing a hip hop night. It was Thursday
It was
night,
Thursday night.
and it started with me. Like, I was the first scam dude doing that hip hop night. I did it every
yeah.
Thursday night.
I think Augusta was opening for you.
Yeah, it was pure hip hop because Igor,
Yeah.
he was like, yo, man, let's do some hip hop. Like, let's just do all hip hop. And so I just started playing trap records. Like,
Gucci Mane.
all that shit I would just
Marcus
play that
Flocka.
straight. And then it just started growing in the city. And then the next thing you know, here comes Supper Club and here comes these other clubs. And then hip hop that's all motherfuckers would listen
But
to.
then also the artists there started popping off around that time too.
And all
as
the
well,
girls, it's like the girls just want to hear hip-hop. So that's all they want to hear in LA. But for me, like, that's not who I am musically, and that's not who I am as a DJ. Is there a part of me that could play hip-hop? Absolutely. I'll play the most ghetto shit. You saw me, I rolled up, I was playing Shoreline Mafia.
Yeah.
I was playing the most ghetto shit you could ever hear. Like, I love that shit. The producer, Ron, like, I love his beats. He's like the underground mustard right now. Like, this kid, Ron. So, but there's also a side of me that really loves other styles of music just as much.
But you just want the freedom to play what
I
you
just
want,
like, dude.
right?
I'd love playing house music. Like, there's so many house records that I have, or bootlegs, or hot shit that I can never drop in LA. And when I go out here, it's really refreshing for me to hear different styles of music. Or when I hear you guys play, he drops all types of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'll hear, something from the 60s, or you'll hear something from the 70s, and you'll hear something from the 80s and the 90s, or whatever, and then you jump into some house shit. Like, he could play literally every style. I really appreciate it. I still like open format DJing. I still really respect it, and I still want to hear it.
See, I feel the opposite of you.
Yeah.
I'll go to LA.
And you just want to hear it.
I want to hear hood hip hop shit.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
want to hear that
the
shit.
open format.
Yeah, so when I go to LA, like, I mean, I just don't want to hear that all night. I don't want to hear that all night. It's cool if you go to one or two, but when that's the only thing you ever hear when you go out, it gets old.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of venues.
So
it's all hip-hop,
and it's like I said, the DJs, the younger DJs in LA, they're not exposed to the musical versatility like you are, or like I am, or the guys out here. And I think that's important as a DJ, that you have to know all types of music.
It's emerging though, slowly. It's really emerging.
And that's cool to hear.
Yeah.
Like, I just really respect guys who dig and appreciate all forms of music, because to me that's the real form of hip hop. Hip hop came from
that's
form
real
of
hip hop DJing. Yeah,
real hip hop came from finding records that were not hip hop records.
Yeah.
And they made them hip hop records. So to me, that's still it. I still like to hear a dope break and maybe, or a dope drop in maybe a house record, or a dope new rock record that has a lot of energy that nobody is playing. I'm not going to hear that in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do like about out here. Like, when I go out, I'm turned on to things that I don't hear if I went out. So it makes me want to go out. Like, when I go out in Los Angeles, I already know what I'm going to hear. So I was just hard to get me to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I already know you guys are going to play 50 Mustard records, and you're going to play all the Migos shit, and you're going to play this, and it's going to be cool, and bitches going to be fine, and motherfuckers going to have bottles.
I remember him doing a Red Cup.
Red Cup was
that
fun.
shit was fun as fuck.
Red Cup was fun. You get all the Latinas drinking Modelo's and shit. Their titties is out. Like, that's
during the daytime. That's
my God, bro. That was so fun.
It wasn't just all hip hop. Y'all would play a lot. You had like Graham Stone up there.
And then also we would play, like, you could jump into some fucking Latin shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that shit too.
Yeah.
Like, there's some, like, the Latin music, like, one of my friends, this girl was like talking to me on social media the other day. She was like, what you know about Spanish music? I was like, it's not like, I like the real shit. Like, I like the horns and the fucking, you know what I'm saying? The boom, 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 boom. Like, I like that kind of shit.
Banda
stuff.
Yeah.
I like all the real shit. I don't like this new form of the Spanish music.
Like the reggaeton.
Reggaeton, that's not the kind that I like. I like the shit that like you would see in the background, like in, the cartel movies, like the shit they was listening to.
He likes Vicente Fernandez.
Yeah, like that kind of shit, like the real.
Chalino Sanchez.
Oh man, I love all that shit. Like in my computer, bro, like I got like a whole playlist of that shit where I just listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I used to put it in my story videos when I'm driving through LA. I like to show scenery.
Yeah.
So I'll put the Spanish, like the Spanish shit in there, So I love that kind of shit. So
Going down East LA. Yeah.
Yeah, man. East LA, like I guess it's authentic shit.
Yeah.
If it's really authentic, I really like it.
Yeah. I mean, the reggaeton's authentic to like
It's cool.
No, it's really authentic, but it's not the original Spanish shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that the gangster Spanish shit.
Remember the shit that I was playing at your house yesterday, 2 days ago? That's the shit he's talking about.
Well, I know. I know like Vicente Fernandez just because I work with a bunch of Mexicans in warehouses in New York back in the day.
Yeah.
I got that shit. I got that shit in my computer. Like I
don't know it well, but I know it. When
I love
hear
it. I like to sit at. Sometimes it's just what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's crazy because I be driving to that shit sometimes, and like
and I don't know shit they saying.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like,
It just feels like a cartel motherfucker.
Yeah, but it just
And it's literally mostly about drugs.
Yeah, it's mostly about drugs or pussy.
Yeah.
Fair game. Yeah. And then it's musically though. It's got like some jazz elements, the salsa element.
Yeah.
The bass lines, like that shit is fucking hard. Like there's been a lot of dope hip hop records that have come from those records.
Yeah.
You sample whatever you can, whatever, it just sounds hot. You know what I'm saying? So I
got a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, are you still like when I would see you with DJ, you'd be killing the shit. So I remember one time we were spinning at Rehab back in the day.
Oh shit,
It was like way back in there. I don't even remember the fucking year.
Okay.
Rehab, you was killing it. I walked in. I think I was closing after you or something. And you was killing it. And you was watching porn while you was spinning.
Was that on my cell phone or on the
It was on the laptop. So you would switch over.
Do you know what that was? That was just me fucking with the homies, like me trying to make people laugh. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be a real sick fucker to get a boner DJing, you know what I'm saying?
No. But I was dying laughing. I was like, yo.
But that's just something, like, to me, that's entertainment. Like,
that's like a meme.
Like, this motherfucker's really watching porn and he's DJing. Like, what the fuck is that all about?
Hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just
did he have like spread on the screen, or was it just a little box?
He was like spinning, and then he would play a song, and then he'd go back. He'd watch it. And he'd be like sipping a drink, take a look around, check out some shorties, and then switch over to the other screen, and then it's scared. I was like, yo, that's the way to do this shit. Like, I couldn't do that. I need to put like my full fucking attention in this shit, yo.
Amazing.
And then I remember like, yo, Five. I'd be like, yo, he be watching porns and shit, like, and spinning, and Five be like, man, he does that shit all the time, man. I see him do it all the time.
That's a real urban sicko right there, boy.
Yeah. So that's what I think about urban sicko is like, it's a character of me, but it's like, it's my alter ego. But there's, like you said, that's an urban sicko shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always been me. Like, I was always a class clown. You know, like, I used to do some really fucking outlandish shit. Like in high school, like I like to mess with the teachers. Like, so I learned how to get into classrooms before they would open.
Yeah.
So I would sabotage them. So by that, I would do pranks on the teachers. Like, we had this one teacher who he would tape our quizzes, and on back in the day it was old, and he would, on cassette, and he would give us quizzes. And he would go up there and press play in the quiz, and then we would have to do our test. And he'd be like, number 7, so and so, so and so. So I was like, oh, you got a tape in there? Cool. So I snuck in the class one day, and I took his tape, I threw it out the fucking window, and I put in Big Daddy Kane. And we walked, this is 88. We walked into class, everybody sat down, and he went up there to give us our quiz, and he pushed play, and it was like, You know what I'm saying? And then Big Daddy Kane came on, and the crowd, and not the crowd, but the kids went fucking bananas. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's like, yo, like, the teacher's fucking with Big Daddy Kane. So just type of things like that.
It's the quiz.
You know what I'm saying? I was in the back. Like,
name that rapper.
I would always sabotage the teachers. You know what I'm saying? And another time, there's one teacher that I really like. I would bring in like one time I went in there and I got a bunch of penthouses and shit, and I went and got tape, and I went and put up pussies and titties all over the fucking classroom before we walked in, and then I drew a big dick on the fucking chalkboard and shit. So when we came in, he would go in first, and then all the class would come in. And walk in, he flicked on the lights, and everybody was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I'm saying? And I'll just be in the back like, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Eventually, they figured out it was me, and then I started getting in a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would pull me aside at the beginning of the semester, like, sir, Mr. Bullock, we're not going to have that shit in our classroom, so you'll be kicked out day one. So that's just kind of where I learned that kind of humor shit, and it just, the IG is just kind of another aspect of that, clowning around.
You're like Black Bart.
Yeah, no, I've always been a prankster, and Twitter's the same thing. Like, trolling people is a pranking people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already know it's gonna happen before you say it.
So wait, I got a question. Do you know kind of like the history? Because I've always wanted to know this.
Mm-hmm.
The history of the Bloods and the history of the Crips over the last 30 years. But what I want to know is why is more Bloods seem to be in like the spotlight, and Crips seem to be a little bit like.
I don't know the reason for that, but
because
I think you got a couple Blood artists who are just really good, and they just got famous. I don't think it was a Crip or a Blood that got chosen, but the Blood gangs expanded, and they're big.
See, I was thinking it was maybe Suge, because
I don't think it was Suge, but the Bloods got a couple artists that are really fucking good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's some really good, like YG is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like YG's amazing. The Game has been dope for his whole life. Who else is a blood
Game,
rapper?
right?
Game's out there like that. He's a known blood.
Kendrick's not really a blood, but I think Top Dog is like
Top Dog.
Yeah, so
he's
you know
in that culture with.
So
I want to know why the Bloods are so tapped into the entertainment. That's what it is. And I also want to know if Crips are like kind of angry about that shit.
Like
no,
Quick
I mean,
dudes.
I don't know. I don't think they're angry about it. Like I said, everybody's so intertwined because you got like Nip, like Nip was so. See, what fucked me up about Nip was when he died, he really represented everything that I grew up experiencing. Like, you know, I just talked to you guys about being chased by Crips and Bloods or riding your bikes down, Crenshaw, and us shopping at the Crenshaw swap meet our whole lives. You know, like we used to ditch school and go to Crenshaw swap meet. We grew up cruising Crenshaw. All that shit, being a little kid in Los Angeles, going to the Run DMC concerts, getting shot at, all that shit, everything that we ever grew up experiencing was who Nipsey was. Even for him being a Laker fan, like he was such an embodiment of all of our culture.
Yeah.
That when he got killed, it was literally like they killed L.A. Like he killed. It was bigger to me. It was bigger than when
he was like one of the good ones. Like he was really good ones.
And
you know what I'm
all
saying?
that added on to it too.
Yeah.
But it just felt like a piece of our city and our culture died. That we all literally grew up doing was taken from us.
Right.
So he was bigger than life to us. Like he was bigger than a rapper. And then obviously there's the whole thing of how great of a person he was and how he was given to the hood.
Yeah.
How many motherfuckers loved him. So when you saw that outcry and that response, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like people revered the dude because he was literally all of us. Like my story that I just told you is that's who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like all the little shit with the little kids, and like we used to look up to dudes like him. Like my cousins were him. You know, the gangbanger dude who would come and give us popsicles and candy and shit. You know what I'm saying? And all the places that he ate and all that shit was just like, damn, man, like that's everything that I did.
Yeah.
So when he was taken away and all the things he was doing for this city and just being a good dude, like it just didn't sit well with people, and people just went the fuck off, man. I was in LA, like that shit, like I'd never seen the city act like that. Never. My whole life.
Was it worse than like the riots?
It was
different, right?
It was
different.
The feeling was as bad or as worse.
Yeah.
Because the riots were the city against the cops. This was something that should have never happened. You know, like this was for no reason. It didn't make sense. And that shit fucked us up, bro. Like, and if you listen to his lyrics, he was one of the most, to me, unappreciated by those who never really tapped into him. Lyrically, everything he was saying was a gem about bettering yourself or taking your craft to another level or showing you some business shit or some shit that wasn't the same old gangbang shit. Like even all the trap music that we listen to now, it's all about drugs and pussy and all that shit. He didn't say none of that shit. He was talking about, yo, man, I'm over here fucking with this Bitcoin shit, or like do this for your partner so he gets on to the next level and set up a system for this guy like that. He was talking about putting people on and doing things in business and taking care of shit. And he wasn't never talking about bullshit. So I think that's what really resonated with people. Like he wasn't like the super mega platinum Drake type star. Yeah. But I guarantee you'll never see anybody respected and revered like that in hip hop from here on out. That passes away. Like the dude
by such a big city as Los Angeles, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I was there. Like motherfuckers went off, bro.
And by dudes that wasn't Crip related too. Like he was getting love.
Dude, the Bloods were like, see, this is what I loved about Nipsey, and we've just been talking about on the gang culture. He was off limits. Like that's what made it so bad. All the gangs did not fuck with him. Like he was off limits. If you know anything about that culture, off limits is like nobody fucks with this dude. We don't care what's said, blah blah blah. This dude was off limits.
So wait, break it down. Like what off limits means that Bloods, Crips, no gangs can touch this motherfucker. Pretty much.
That's what it. I think he had that pass.
Wow.
I think he had that pass. You know what I mean? Like nobody really fucked with Nip because everybody knew what he was about. He was bringing dudes together that shouldn't have been together. So they loved the dude, no matter what set they came from. And then he was just putting on, like he was doing things in the neighborhood. You know, there's a lot of dudes who come back to the neighborhood, but he came back and died in the neighborhood that he was fucking putting on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that didn't resonate with people either. Nobody was fucking with that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't cool. So, you know,
Does anyone know what's happening with that dude, by the way, that shot him?
he's in jail.
He's still alive though.
Yeah.
He's in jail. He's in jail.
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what's up with that dude? It's kind of quiet.
He's got to be in like fucking protected custody or some shit like that, right?
He's in solitary for
He can't
sure.
roam freely in jail. He can't roam
so,
freely.
you know, at the same time, you know, like Nip, you know, being from Los Angeles, you know, you got a sense of pride, you know, that people got to see, actually really see the real Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That wasn't Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? None of that was, you know, the Hollywood shit and all the places that you see with all these motherfuckers.
That's a perfect explanation.
That's what I was proud that Nip got to show people the real Los Angeles. You seen the motherfuckers on 100 bikes going down the street in the hood. That's the real Los Angeles. You seen people follow him for 27 fucking miles on every fucking block in the city that was nowhere near Hollywood. That's real Los
down
Angeles.
South Central.
That's the real Los Angeles. And like I always tell people, I was like, you can't call LA and Hollywood the same place. They're not the same place. They're not the same people. There's millions and millions of regular, real people in Los Angeles that aren't in Hollywood, that don't go to Hollywood. Most of my family never even been to a club in Hollywood, and they don't live that far from it.
I've never heard anyone speak about LA like that.
Right,
Where there was
because
that separation.
There's
you
a
know what I mean?
separation. There's I tell people
It's
all the
almost
time.
like the Las Vegas Strip in Vegas.
Yep.
It's like, yo, motherfuckers
The
from
whole-
Vegas hardly ever go to the Strip.
Right.
Yeah.
And you would say, that
Hey,
you would
the
call
motherfuckers
that
in South
Hollywood.
Central, they don't.
Yeah.
They be down in the hood. They
And
be
the
down,
people-
the Latinos and the Asians. You know, like they be in East LA. Like that's all the parts that people don't ever see. Like they don't get no pub, and it's like all the bad rap in LA is from Hollywood. It's not the real people. It's not the real LA people that are the bad rap. It's all the people that come to Hollywood. Some of them are local. Some of them are transplants. But anytime people like fake ass motherfuckers, like I don't know anybody fake that's from LA, bro. All the motherfuckers that I know that are really from LA are from those areas. The realest motherfuckers I know, not lying, not tripping, not caring about social media, not giving a fuck about being popping. They just doing real shit. They real hardworking blue collar people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the real Los Angeles. Los Angeles is bigger than Hollywood. Hollywood is only a few miles big. It's not LA.
About like 8. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm sure your family. Where does your family live in Los Angeles?
Silver Lake.
Silver Lake's pretty close to Hollywood.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Now we're right at
Hollywood,
it's
son.
right there. So,
JMU Hollywood.
northeast of Hollywood. Yeah.
but other family you got, I'm sure they live all over, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like my family lives in places like Monrovia, DeWarty, Pasadena. You know, then there's the IE, but South Central, you know, like Inglewood, Watts, all that shit, like Compton, Linwood. You know, there's so many places in Los Angeles that people never get to really talk about. If it's not in a music song or it's not Hollywood, they don't talk about it. So, and then another thing in Hollywood that people don't know, that there's an inner crowd of locals that don't go to the trendy spots, and there's places that people go eat that are legendary and classic and historical that aren't the Taos and they aren't the other places
Like
that
Dino's.
Yeah. There's places though. Those are the places that I ate. You ever see me post any places, all those trendy places? And I eat all the time. I always post where I go to eat.
Sometimes you be at Nobu and shit.
Nobu's one of them. One of my friends,
Mr. Chow.
Mr. Chow, but Mr. Chow is all over.
Yeah,
the
Craig,
corporate.
don't try. You be on that flossy shit. He be on that flossy shit.
Is different.
bit, man.
Flossy is different than trendy. Flossy is different than trendy. Will I eat at the nice places in LA that were always there? Absolutely, every fucking day. But like the trendy,
like Dino's. You've been at Dino's,
yeah,
right?
man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
like or the OG taco spots. You know what I'm saying? Like on the corners, like motherfuckers. You ain't gonna see that shit on nobody's IG. They ain't tripping off that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna post the shit from Catch or some shit. Or,
Catch LA.
Or like I've never even been to Catch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather go to like, you know, a spot that we always went to before those shits even open. Or I'm only gonna see people that know me and I know them. I'm not gonna see somebody that's an influencer, no disrespect to them. But it's like I like to go to the local places that I always went to. And that's usually where I hang. And yeah, Mr. Chow's is part of that. We've been going there for 20 years.
Yeah.
Before all the trendy spot. You know, we've been going to Nobu's new. But one of my friends put me onto that. They were like, "Yo, we're opening up this spot in Nobu. Like, you gotta go check it out." I've been to Nobu like 2 times in the last 3 years though. It's just fucking far. It takes you fucking 2 hours to get there.
Yeah, to Malibu, man.
You be on that street for fucking 2 hours, bro.
The Pacific Highway.
Yeah,
Sitting there for mad long.
God damn, man. Going home, your fucking ass starts hurting. You start getting fatigued from sitting in the car and shit.
That 10 freeway is no joke after 5.
You know what's
On any day.
the problem is y'all are driving. When I go to LA, I'm in the Uber. I don't really give a fuck how long the ride takes.
No,
You know what
are
I'm
you
saying?
there all year in an Uber though? Every day?
It wouldn't bother me. I like.
Oh,
Sometimes
it would.
I do work. I do work while they driving. I'll take a nap. Like
That's
I love
different
it.
though. You're coming into town. I would do the same thing if I went to New York and I was in an Uber. That's the same thing, and it's a lot of traffic. If you had to live in LA and you had to drive those streets every fucking day,
Yeah,
you
I would Uber. I don't
like-
know how to drive. That's
right?
why,
You
yeah.
be, yo, man, I gotta go to. Hey, man, meet us at Mr. Chow's. All right, like you got to leave 2 hours early. You know,
Bro, it would take me from Silver Lake to Fairfax about an hour and a half to get to work.
on the streets.
On the
And
streets.
that's like not even what 10 miles
It's
maybe.
not even
That
like
shit's not
8
worth
miles.
going to, man. It takes
See,
2
that's
hours
why
to get
what's
there.
hard for me to
Yeah.
go out a lot because I was like, man, I ain't sitting in that shit. I ain't sitting in that traffic.
That's
Everything's built around traffic. Like, hey man, what time y'all going? Like, oh man, I don't know, we could go like 2 o'clock. Like, all right, man, I'm probably not gonna make that. You know,
Yeah,
if y'all
yeah.
go like 8, I'll show up. But you know what
Is
I'm
that why everyone's so flaky in LA?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with that shit. So, and it's like, and people don't care. Like, people are like, they don't care if you don't show up or not. So you don't get, like, if you don't show up out here and you say you're not going, people will probably hold it against you.
Yeah, you 10 minutes away.
Yeah. You got no excuse. But in LA, it's motherfuckers like, damn, you in Beverly Hills. Like, man, I drive, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
And don't even start if you drive a V8. That shit's even worse.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
V-
what's this?
What's that?
That's like the bigger tank. Like that's like the trucks. That's like
Oh, the V8 engines.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so even going to a Laker game, you know, I live like, in theory, like 5, 6, 7 miles from Staples from down. Like I lived in the south part of South.
like
so-
Huntington, like Highland Park area.
Yeah, like down there. So you know, once a certain time of day, or if there's a game, if there's a Dodger game,
Yeah.
you're done. Like you can't even get through that little hill when you go over to go
Like
to downtown.
Chinatown. Yeah, you're kind of stuck there.
Oh,
but-
so you worked at Rift, so you had to go over that hill.
no, well, I lived in Silver Lake.
Okay, so you just
I
went
just
straight
took
down.
Sunset and then
Okay, you
got
were
cut down.
straight, yeah.
But yeah,
The
I
streets
guess-
can get crowded too, though.
Yeah, but you got another back shit like
Yeah.
Fountain ever.
Yeah, Fountain's the move. Fountain's
Yeah,
the move.
yeah,
I
exactly.
lived on Fountain.
Yeah.
I had,
You gotta know
a,
your-
I had a
you
tent on Fountain like the homeless dudes. Like I used to be killing out there with them. I'm just kidding. Yo, did you see all the homeless shit out there?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That shit is crazy, man.
It's
Like,
just pretty bad.
that's like new. Like that's like
Well, and then Riff is like 2 blocks away from Skid Row.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing all that shit. It's
yeah.
just
So
crazy.
Skid Row is Mr. Cartoon used to have his tattoo shop over there.
right down the street. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did all my tattoos. So
How
yeah.
much did that cost you?
I mean, it costs a lot, but not what he really charges people.
Yeah, that shit
You know what I'm
is
saying?
crazy,
He gets
man.
like 50 G's from like, you know, super celebrities. He did me,
Damn.
you know, it cost me like $1,500.
That's a goal. That's one of my goals to get tatted by a cartoon.
How did Cartoon blow up? Like, cause I just remember him having the Nike
Artist.
shoes and
He
shit.
blew up because first of all, he's incredibly dope.
Yeah.
And he was a really respected tattoo artist. But then when he tattooed a couple rappers, it just changed the game. Like people got to see how dope he was, and then it became like, damn, like I gotta get a tattoo from that.
I remember the dude had his own sidekick. I was like, who
Yeah,
is that's crazy.
He had his own
Oh,
Nikes.
His
Yeah.
Air Forces are.
I remember
There's
being like,
one.
yo,
There's one Air Force that
The Spiderweb?
Spiderweb,
Legendary.
dude.
That's almost up there with the Atmos.
Yeah, $8-9 easy.
Yeah.
You
That
don't
whole
see that
episode
shit.
with AM on Entourage was about
Yeah.
Cartoon.
Getting
That was
Cartoon,
Cartoon.
cartoon
Yeah.
he did it on my sleeves. He did my back. He did all that shit.
Except they made Cartoon like some Filipino.
Yeah, from Glendale.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Really? They did him like that?
Fukujama
Yeah,
was
the
from Glendale.
Fukujamas, yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, man, you know, like I appreciate you guys having me up here telling my stories and stuff. Like,
Nah, we've been trying to get you
For the past year and a half.
yeah, well,
we didn't think we could get you actually.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
really?
like, yo, he don't fuck with us.
no, it just has to be the right situation. Has
He
to,
blew
you know-
me off in L.A. He was
Yeah,
just
no,
kinda
he didn't
like-
even call us back.
He left me
Really?
on red.
Yeah.
He left me on red.
He's like, what time? Yeah, well, I'm not
Really?
driving over there.
Well, what a lot of people don't know about my life is I have a really sick mother,
Oh,
so
okay.
I take care of her full time.
Now we feel like assholes.
Yeah, no. So when a lot of people, another reason why I don't go out a lot is because she lives with me right now. I brought her to
Yeah.
Vegas. She had a couple strokes. She had some aneurysms.
Oh man.
So she's a full-time job, and I've had issues with people helping me with her in the past. People took advantage of her. They stole from her when I wasn't around.
yeah.
Stole her purses, stole her diamonds. So I just said, fuck that. I'm not putting her in a home. I'm her only son. I'm her only child.
Yeah.
She has no other family.
Take care of
So
her.
she's my full-time responsibility. You know, like she's at the
Amazing.
house right now. She texting me like, are you going to bring me something to eat? You know what I'm saying? So I take care of a little old lady full-time. So that adds to my story of where sometimes people are like, yo, Craig don't always be around or something. Like, that's because I'm taking care of her.
Yeah.
You know, she needs a lot of fucking assistance. So she's cool. She's in Vegas. She was like, I said, Mom, look, I got to go to Vegas. I want to move to Vegas. I'm going to take you with me. And she's like, hey, let's just go. Like,
She was already packing her bag.
yeah, she's just like, whatever you want to do. Like, I've lived my life. She's like, you take care of me full time. So I'll just go wherever you go.
She likes it out here.
That's cool, man.
She doesn't get to go out much. She's not really that mobile.
Yeah.
So I took her out today. Like, I took her driving. I took her to In-N-Out, and I took her to get her nails done.
Nice.
And that's about all she can really handle.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
that, she starts getting a little tired. You know, she got bad vision. When you have stroke damage, dude, it's like tough on you. So, you know, I got the cameras and shit. Everything's watching her. Like, I got baby monitors. I got cameras all over the house that watch her full time. So, you know, when you don't see me, that's usually what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, if there's sometimes we're like, yo, we can't find Craig, that's usually what I'm doing. But when I can get a little bit of rest and I can go out and do my thing, you'll see me. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, even being here in Vegas, it's like I could still be taking care of her, but I could get over to the strip and see you. I could come see you DJ for 2 hours, and I could dip back home in 10 minutes.
Yep.
So it just makes my life a little more livable, even with taking care of her, and also just being here, just a better lifestyle for me. Like, it's helping me health wise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Clear air too.
well, just the stress. You know, it's stressful. I don't know if you ever taken care of a little old person
No.
that can't do shit. It gets stressful. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of sacrifice. One of the reasons why I stopped DJing a lot was her too, because I was just like, I got to be home. Like, I had to put my whole career on hold. And but at this point right now, you know, I'm out here. We've saved a lot of money by moving here, so I can get a lot more help for her.
Right.
And I can get back to work. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to DJing here. Like, I'm ready, bro. I've been working on my sets the whole month.
Nice.
So when I get a chance to get out here, like, I'm ready to light it up. You know,
Yeah.
and when you go out here, you DJs DJ different ways in different cities.
Yeah.
And you got to understand how they get down in their city. You know what I'm saying? So I really respect how everybody gets down out here. Like, I don't want to come out here and step on no toes. I'm learning from everybody out here, and you know, I don't want to come out here and like, you know, like, when you're on other people's turf, you gotta respect their turf,
Kiss the ring.
and you gotta understand how they do things and learn from it. So everything that I did in LA, like, I go into LA, like, I could be like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody gonna tell me shit in LA. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But when I'm out here, I'm on you guys' turf. So I will listen to you guys. You know, like, you guys are gonna show me, lead me to water or not, and I gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta respect how things are done, and I gotta keep my mouth shut and listen. But I am looking forward to DJing here. Like, I can't wait to hit the spot. Like, my
Can't wait
boys
to
at
see you.
Hakkasan, they were
Yeah.
like, yo, man, we gotta get you on here.
be dope.
You know,
cool, man.
I play some open format. I play some big room shit. I play some old shit. Like, I just can't wait to get back to that. And it's giving me a new, not lust, but a new love for DJing by moving out
Yeah,
here. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Like, I'm like, I just feel like the DJs are more appreciated out here, even just by how they're paid and how you guys do the gigs out here. Like,
Yeah.
the culture of DJing is appreciated. In LA, like, a lot of DJs could just play any records and it's like they can get on. Like, you know, there's a lot of undercutting in LA. Dudes
Way too much undercutting.
undercutting where, you know, like
There's
that.
a lot of undercutting here too.
Yeah, but
I know, right?
yeah, but if you got some status here, they ain't gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gotta pay you. Like, yo, man, that motherfucker got like 5 million, a million followers or so. So, like, whatever is your status. If you got your status and you got records out or whatever,
Yeah.
that's why I'm not trying to do it half-assed. Like, I'm trying to do television. I'm trying to do music. I'm trying to use all my resources, and we're gonna DJ. But again, I don't want to leave. I'm not gonna let him DJ anywhere else, but in Vegas, I want to make it exclusive for here. I want it to be where I could play a certain type of music, which is all types of music, and I just want to make it something that's a showcase for here. Because I'm older, I don't like to travel anymore. I'm sick of fucking airplanes. I've traveled for 20 fucking years straight, and I'd rather play here. I'd rather just play here, and then if I'm not playing here, I'm cool. Like, I went to LA, but that was 45-minute flight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you take the JSX, dip over there, you're right back. And I was like, motherfuckers like, yo, we want to go eat. I'm like, I'm already back in Vegas, bro. Like, I got the fuck up out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, pleasure to be here, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Craig Anthony, be on the lookout for Urban Sicko.
Yo, go follow Urban Sicko. It's
Yeah.
URBAN.SIKO on IG.
Are you you're posting regularly now?
I've been kind of chilling on the post, man, because like I just been so busy trying to get situated in Vegas, and I've been working on the content.
Yeah.
But you know, it's gonna transform from comedy more into real content and into real music. So I kind of just want to kind of wait for some real content to drop, and then that's gonna get new fans and new new look, new things and shit. So I want to be able to give people something else. You know what I'm saying? Give them a little more. So I'm working on that. So
good shit, man. Yo,
Yeah,
thank you
man,
for
definitely.
Shout, man. Thank you for coming through, man.
anytime I'll
Appreciate
come
it, man.
back too. Like I said, anything I can help you guys with your podcast, just let me know. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's going the podcast game. What I'm trying to do is take it to another level for people. I might do one. I might do an urban sicko called Sicko Radio. You know, this is a dope facility. I don't know if I can use this or whatever, but you know, I might start doing something that's kind of based on entertainment and DJing too, culture, everything from the tastemaking to the sneakers and all that shit, whatever. They were really on me about it. I like I said, I'm not really that person. Like I could talk with you because you asked me questions, but I don't know if I could sit on a mic and just be like, just for a long time, you know.
But you got a good take on sports. You got a good take
Sports
on
is fun.
current events.
Bro, if you want to start Dodger podcast, let me know. I got you.
I'll do a Dodger podcast. I'll do some shit with you. Like maybe do something like once a month. We just vent about how fucking lame shit is.
Yeah, we'll
There
cry.
you go.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
do some fucking pictures.
Do a DJ sports show.
The DJ,
Yeah,
the
DJ
DJ shit
sports
is
show,
crazy,
yeah.
man. It's like, you know, it's like, I mean, you guys know you live in Vegas, so there's a lot of DJs that come through here. I'm sure you get a lot to come on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
that's really cool. Like, you know,
We can't
like,
even get all of them that we want
to
sometimes.
the
It's just
perspective.
like,
Well, you're busy, they're busy.
Yeah, it's been
Motherfuckers be
crazy.
drunk.
Time.
Yeah, catching people, but you know, you catch people at a good time. Like I'm glad you guys hit me up, and this is the right time to do it. Nobody's busy, you're not traveling. It's like it's just a perfect situation. And a lot of things happened that recently in my life where I wanted to talk about it. You got to kind of have something else to talk about just besides your old story. You know that gets a little old to me.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man. I'm really proud I got to come up.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
coming through. And
All
you
day.
know,
Anytime you need me, like I said, we don't have to always talk about, we could talk about whatever.
Yeah,
I'll come
yeah.
hang out and just shoot the shit. Like, what happened in Vegas the last 2 weeks? Well, this happened. Because I'm not going to talk about this on air, but I'm going to show you what people are texting me about right now. This is what people are texting me about.
Yeah.
That shit is popping out here like
Getting the
gnarly.
text also, man.
Yeah, you
It's
know
like
what
the
I'm
Wild
saying?
West, bro.
Yo, so, this,
we've been talking about. I mean, you've been talking about the chaos closing.
Yeah.
You've been talking about it?
We've been talking about
Yeah.
for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's a lot of drama
We
going on in
predicted,
Vegas.
too.
Yeah.
I'm actually wondering because they had a huge staff, bro. I'm wondering where that staff is
that's
gonna
gone.
go, bro.
They're gone.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, man. Yeah.
Anyway, man, yo, thank you for coming through, bro.
Anytime.
When
When do you play next out here?
Probably next week.
Yeah.
Just because I'll be in we're actually going to Miami.
What part of Miami? What part of Miami? Where are you playing, or are you just going?
No, we're all going. We're gonna
Podcast?
interview Raul. We're gonna interview Dizza, Irie,
all those guys.
all the homies over there.
Raul, he's gonna
Yeah.
give you the shit because he's like the keep it real dude.
He is.
You know what I mean? Who else is down there?
He's got 20 years in the industry in Miami. So
he got like he's selling records. He got Supreme shit. He got all kinds.
he got
of
everything.
He got
He's
everything.
Steady hustling.
But yeah, that's my
cool,
guy.
man.
And don't forget to subscribe to youtube.com/R.O.A.D podcast. We drop a new video every Friday. So go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and hit the little notification bell to get the video first. And
Yes, that was so good.
It was
That
so
was so
good.
good. You
All
took your time, bro.
I got it.
All right. And yo, shout out to DJ City, man. We out.
Peace.
Oh yes, from me, Craig, DJ Homicide. Thank you, DJ City. They've always helped me out with my profile, man.
Yeah,
I've had it for years. I'll use their music every night. So DJ City, when you hear this, thank you very much for the profile and good looking out.
peace.
Peace.
We got to give them a percentage of our check now.
Yeah.
I always no, but
cut the
I've
promo out?
I've always wanted to thank them because they
Yeah.
gave me a page.
They always let you. They always hook you up.
I've always
yeah.
wanted to thank them, man. Like, make sure they hear that.
Yeah, they got it.